Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, you guys. Welcome. How's everybody? Are we rested after yesterday? Oh my
Good
gosh.
morning.
So we coached yesterday from 9 o'clock to noon with you guys, and then each of us both went into our own coaching sessions for our own companies. I have never been so tired in my life, and I think it is
Yeah,
because we showed up with some energy yesterday. So I hope you guys are excited because the plan is to give you guys that same energy today with our speakers, which are going to be Josh and Heather, and the Dawn is coming today. I feel like he should be called the Dawn, right? Like
I think so.
the Dawn, you know? It's like
Yeah.
the Walmart, like you call it the Walmart. I don't know if you guys do, but I do. Anyways, what I would love to just start off today is for you to just drop like, what is one aha that you had yesterday that you were like, oh, I have not done this, or oh, it's really that easy, or oh, I could implement this in my business right now. So I'd love for you to just take a quick 30 seconds, drop your big aha or what you're taking away from yesterday's session. I always like to do this and just, something to be thinking about for you guys as well. You are all coaches, right? When people come to your webinars, your summits, your coaching programs, have them do this as well, right? Because not every transformation we all provide is monetary right away, right? It's mental shifts, it's models shifting, it's perspective shifting, right? It's someone having an aha and being like, oh, I could do this, right? And the more you get your people to write it down, the more solidified it is in their brain. And that's why we start every session like, what was your aha? What's the takeaway? What are you going to do? And so, not only do I want you to write that in the chat, but I also want you to write that down as something that you're going to do every time you get on with your own clients, right? It's to be like, what's the win? What did you do? What are you proud of? How are you moving forward? Because getting that is really great. And then I'm going to give you a ninja cheat. Are you guys ready? Are you excited? Is everybody focused? Because this is like a secret. Don't tell anyone. Are you guys ready? Okay. Action Jackson's listening. Make sure Chewbacca can hear this.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys. Once everybody comments, take all those comments, put them in Chat GPT, GPT, and be like, summarize the comments. So then when you send an email talking about what everybody missed out, because we're going to build FOMO, you could be like, look what all the participants learned and look what they said and rah, rah, rah. Really great social proof, right? So, anyways, just wanted to share. I always like to pull back the curtain and be like, do this, it's awesome. All right, so everybody's dropping their ahas here. We've got at least 30 people in here. So I'm hoping to see at least 30 comments of like, oh my gosh, this is what I got. I love Jeremy. Jeremy, I freaking love you. He goes, yeah, that's my takeaway today. He's just like, whatever she said, that's it. All right, guys, we are so excited. As you know, today's a big day. It's the one that we've all been waiting for, where Dawn is going to come in. But what we're going to do is we're going to throw this over to Josh Hull. He is going to kind of set the tone for us today. He's going to introduce our speaker, who is freaking amazing. And I cannot wait for you guys to hear everything she has in store for you. So take it away, Josh.
Thank you, Jenna. Really appreciate that. Hey, everybody, welcome back. I just want to echo what Jenna just said is the idea of modeling. One of the best ways to learn and to grow your business is see what's being successful for the other coaches, especially the ones that are right above you, that next level that you want to get to. I think one of the things that we do and one of the things that I did um, starting out was I looked at people like, for example, Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins, even the Don Miller, as Jenna calls him. And I was like, I got to be that professional. I got to be there. I got to be doing this. Guys, look, my studio is set up in a little bedroom in my house. I have a few soundproofing things going on because I have five daughters, and that's, just insanity. But I'm just right up from you. I started with a webcam. I started with a laptop. I started with a lamp that I took the lampshade off and put it over here so I had more light on my face on this side. But I didn't let it stop me, and I modeled the people that were right above me. I modeled what they were doing. I modeled that, and that actually propelled me faster because if I was trying to be perfect, then and do it the way the big guys were doing it, all it did was it frees me. Perfection, there is no standard of perfection. Perfection is the lowest standard because there's no standard at all. I always say try to lean into it 80%. If you're doing 80% of what you need to be doing, you're moving the needle faster than most other people. And by the way, write this down, and then I'm going to throw it over to Heather here in a second. My done crap will beat your undone perfect any day of the week. All right. My done crap will beat your undone perfect any day of the week. So even if you
And
think, oh, that looks
actually,
crappy, what's that?
I was just saying, actually, Josh, even their crap is better than their perfect. Not even
Eh,
just yours, right?
but that's what I'm saying is I
Yeah.
want them to say that to themselves. My done crap will beat your undone perfect any day of the week. So while other coaches are out there trying to get it all perfect, trying to have the money for the camera and this and that and the other, you put something out, and even if you look at it and you go, man, that looks like crap, it's out, and it will beat somebody's undone perfect any day of the week. So write that down, put it up as a mantra by your computer. So when you start feeling tempted to not do something, you can tell yourself, my crap will beat your undone perfect any day of the week. And that that you're talking to, that's that other coach. That's that guy that's sitting out there, that girl that's sitting there and just waiting for everything to be perfect. All right, guys, enough preaching. So today is going to be awesome. I'm going to start calling her the Heather, and I'm going to refer to Jenna as the Jenna since we're doing that now. So we have the amazing Heather on here. She is fantastic, and without her, I would not be even half as organized as what I am right now. And I'm not nearly as organized as I could be, right? But my done crap will beat your undone perfect any day of the week. Heather's the master of that. She's going to teach you guys how to scale your business, how to get out of your business when the time is right. Again, she's included, by the way, a bonus in the membership that we talked about yesterday. So you guys can get her. She's going to be a guest speaker. I'm excited. I love Heather. Take it away, Heather. Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. So, yes, I'm going to talk about a very fun topic today, and that is getting your time back. Because how many of us as coaches feel like we are spending so much time in our business and not really enjoying what we're doing? Go ahead and drop a yes at the bottom if that is you. All right, I am going to share my screen. All right, here we go. Can you guys see my screen okay? Can everyone see it okay? Okay, awesome. All right, awesome. So we are going to take control of your time today and learn to delegate with confidence. How many people have ever told you that delegating is actually a learned behavior? It is not something that you are born with. Most people think it's just something you're born with and you can easily do it, and that is actually not true. All right, so here is what we have for you today. So we're going to talk about first, should I hire? Is it time for you to hire? Who should you hire first? And what do you need to prepare so delegation actually works for you? All right, so let's start here. Is this how you're feeling? Tell me in the comments. Tell me, is this how you're feeling? You're the CEO, but you're also the admin, the tech support, the marketing team. And as Jenna told you yesterday, you're also the VP in your company. You are the finance person in your company. You are everything in your company. Is that you? Does this resonate? You're doing 80% of the business yourself. But guess what's happening? You're dropping balls you didn't even know you were holding on to. You start a task, you end up fixing a link, replying to a DM, and then you forget what task was that you were even working on, right? It's kind of like when you're cleaning your house. I know this happens in everyday life, right? It's like you go to one room for something and then you forget, what was I supposed to go to that room for? You just have too much stuff on your mind. And you can't unplug without everything stalling in your business. All right, is this resonating with anybody? Okay, guilty. Oh my gosh. Yes, guilty. I see it. Yep, yep. You're spending hours on things that someone else could totally handle for you. And you want to delegate, but you don't even know where to begin. Remember, delegation is not something you're born with, it's a learned process. All right. Well, if your brain is just now saying, oh, that's me, then you're in the right room today. All right, so you've built something incredible. Your business is growing. You're full of ideas. Your brain is full of ideas. Clients are coming in or they've started to come in. Good things are starting to happen. But here's the deal. You're also running out of time. You're doing $20 an hour tasks with your $200 an hour brain, and you're carrying everything inside your head. I call it your business brain. You literally have your business inside your brain. It's time that we work on that to get it out of your brain. Okay. What if you knew exactly when to hire, who to hire, what to give them, how to prep your business, and how to protect your energy, your calendar, and your brain power so that you have the time to focus on the most important thing in your world? Okay. Your family, possibly bringing those income producing activities into your business. Those are the things that you need to focus on. All right. So if you're thinking, yes, that's me. Hello, my name is Heather and I am guilty. I was guilty is how I should say this. Once upon a time in my business, this is not the first business I had. Okay. This is another business. My old business, this was me. I was guilty. I was the marketer. I was the tech team, the admin, the customer support, and the poor soul who was manually sending invoices as I laid in bed at midnight because I thought, "Oh, I forgot something today." I didn't have a team. I was the team in my business. Okay. And that all changed for me when I had that aha moment. This is not what I signed up for. This is not what I wanted to do. I did not want to be every person. I wanted a business so that I could have the life that my family deserved. Okay. And that was not it. That was just not it. Okay. So, question: should I hire? All right. You're going to ask yourself these questions. Okay. And go ahead and drop the answers in the chat. I want to kind of see where we're at. Okay. So, are you working 10 plus hours a week on admin or delivery? Okay. Have you delayed launches or content because you're too busy? Is this you? Jenna says no. No, it's not you because you don't have to, right? You've got people working for you. Exactly. Do you feel like you can step away from your business like ever? If you step away for a day, do you feel like things are going to crumble? Do you feel like you're always working and you're getting nowhere, no results? Are you missing out on sales because you can't get to it all? You can't get to it all. So it's like these sales are out there, like Jenna talked about yesterday. You have these leads. Are you following up with them? Okay. If two or more of these things are true, I'm going to tell you that it's time. It's time we have a little conversation. Hiring support isn't just about getting help. It's about buying back your time. And I know there's been a book written on it, right? Like that word should resonate with you. Buy back your time. And it's all about so that you can focus on areas that actually bring, think of this word, right? Joy. Who wants joy in their life? I think we all can agree we want joy in our life, right? We want joy in our life and we want revenue in our life, actual revenue. And that is why, folks, I created the BAM VA system. Okay. It's to help other overwhelmed entrepreneurs get the right kind of support right from the start. All right. So many of you are thinking right now to yourself, like, can I even afford doing anything like this? Maybe you're newer to business, or maybe you've been doing this for a while, but you're only making a couple $1,000s a month. And you're like, I just, some people are super expensive and can I even afford this? So let's talk about that for a minute. Okay. Let's go ahead and do some math. And I'm sorry, I'm going to make you think a little bit right now. But what I want you to do is I want you to take your monthly revenue and I want you to divide that between your hours worked. Okay. And this is going to be your hourly rate. Now, there's two different scenarios that can happen. Okay. Two different scenarios that can happen. We've got scenario one. All right. You make more than $20 an hour. All right. Who's making more than $20 an hour? I hope you're making more than $20 an hour. If you're not, you need to get there. It's time we get you there. Okay. You absolutely need to join Josh's membership. He's going to teach you that strategy and how you can get there. But then also having help is going to free up your time to get there. Okay. So you're bringing in a consistent income. Maybe you're at 50, 75, or even $100 an hour. But here's the kicker. You're still doing $20 an hour tasks. You're still spending too much time in the DMs. You're still doing your calendar coordination. You're inviting people to workshops. How many of us, Jenna, Heather, Josh, how many of us were on our DMs inviting you to workshop? I hate to tell you, but if you think it was us, it was not us. We had our BAM VAs. Honestly, all of our BAM VAs were on there inviting people to the workshops. They were sending our emails for us. They were doing everything for us while we said to them, hey, go out and make sure people get invited to this. Okay. So none of you were here because we personally invited you here. Well, very few of you, if you were, okay? Manually invoicing. Again, that midnight conversation in your head, like, oh my gosh, I forgot to invoice somebody. I already did the work and I forgot to invoice them. Creating graphics and contents. Creating email campaigns, okay? Scenario 2, and maybe you're still building. So maybe you're not at that $20 an hour, space yet. Maybe you're making $10 to $15 an hour, but you're doing everything for yourself to save money. But here's what's happening. Here's the truth. You're doing it all and it's keeping you small. For the love of all things, you're capping your income by clinging to control. Okay. Who is guilty of trying to cling to control of your business? Drop a yes. Do you feel like, yes, Gianna? Yes, yes, yes. I know. Yes, Justin. Yes. So many people feel like they can't take their business brain and put it out there to teach someone else about their business to actually get some help. But guess what? Here's the deal. Growth doesn't come from inbox babysitting or Canva marathons. It does not happen. So please, please stop. Stop. It's not helping you and your business. Okay. You're not just buying help, you're buying time to build the version of your business that actually pays you like a boss, how you want to be paid. So let's talk about hiring the right person, because when we talk about hiring, there are many different types of people that you can actually hire. Okay. Some people hire a general VA. Some people hire a more specialized VA. We have graphic designers, we have OBMs, we have executive assistants. And with all of those words floating around, how do you know who should you actually hire in your business? Okay, so you're thinking, yeah, I want help, Heather, but I just don't know where to start. All right, so let's talk about it. You don't want just another person in your inbox. You want someone who plugs into the chaos, brings the calm, the clarity, and the momentum without you needing to babysit them. How many of you feel like this resonates with you? You want somebody there, but you're like, I don't have the time because I am so busy doing all the things in my business. I don't have the time to train them. I don't know how to train them. I don't know how to delegate. Is this you? Let me know in the comments. Yep, that was Jenna. That was definitely Jenna. We were there. Lindsay's like, yes, yes, that was Jenna. Yep, Action Jackson. Yep, yep. Is that Chewbacca saying yes, by the way? Yes, Lourdes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All right. So here's just a testimonial really quickly. There's lots of them on my website, but just one of my clients, Shelly, before working with me, she hired a VA thinking they'd take over the DMs and help in sales, but but it completely flopped. She had no experience in the follow-up. So basically what she's saying here in a nutshell, she hired somebody just looking for a cheap VA, looking for someone to come in and do the things. But when you don't hire someone who's trained and knows systems, it's going to flop, especially if you've never been in a position before and you don't know how to delegate properly. Somebody who isn't trained, they're just not going to work out for you. It's not going to happen.
Can I just
go
chime
ahead, please, please.
So it's Jenna. But I was going to say this, like, I have come across so many people that are like, okay, I'm ready to hire a VA. And then they just go do it. And a couple things happen. They either hire based on price. They're like, oh, this person's really cheap. I'll get them because they think, well, this is where I am in my revenue. So this is all I can afford. And so what happens is they think, oh, I'm getting a really good deal, but the output that they get back in return is just not good, right? The second thing that happens, and we see this a lot before we started referring people only to Heather, is that they would hire someone thinking, oh, I want them to do all these things. And then what they realized is they hired a VA that is absolutely not trained in those things. They're trained in these things. And so there was such a mismatch between expectation and what they got that everybody ends up frustrating. And so that was like a really big game changer for us. And that's why we literally only recommend our clients go to Heather at this point, is because she's so clear on what do you want to do? Make sure you hire this type of VA. And that really answers this question on the screen that's like, what if I don't get this right? And I can promise you, most people don't unless they work with somebody that is really clear on what they need to do. So I just wanted to share that because I've had people DM me like, I'm so frustrated. This VA didn't make sales for me. And I'm like, in what world did you think a VA is trained in sales? You know what I mean? And so it's like there's just such a mismatch between expectations. That's why I love what Heather's doing, is because she's like, what if you get that? What if you don't get this right? And anyways, just wanted to share that perspective.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. That's exactly right. And on our website, just so you guys know, we have some bonus content on there. Some really good representations of, do I want a sales specialist or do I want just a regular VA? Do I want someone who's a graphic designer or do I want someone who is a BAM VA? So it kind of goes over what they can do, what someone else can do, and what price point you're going to be talking about. And we're going to talk about that here in just a minute, okay? So if you don't get this right, though, you're going to hire the wrong person. They're going to underdeliver, and then you're going to end up doing it all anyway. So you want to make sure when you hire, you're hiring the right person. Okay. So what should you do instead? Let's talk about this. Okay. I'm going to show you here on the screen a role mapping matrix to decide between three different types of people that you would employ in your business. Okay, we've got a BAM VA, which a BAM VA again is business and marketing virtual assistant. All right, and that is my program. We have executive assistants. Lindsay is an executive assistant for Jenna. Executive assistant is a very different position than a BAM VA. And we also have OBMs. Okay. And that's more of a business manager. They can do a lot more things, including like finances, different things like that. Okay. But we're going to use your pain point to role match you with one of these people. And we're going to talk about what is making you, okay. Yeah, she is more than executive. So she's kind of like, okay, ops director, but yeah, but she still does fall in that executive assistant role. She handles Jenna's life. Don't let her fool you. Like, she's literally like, Jenna, you need to be up at this time. She's very much like, yes, exactly. What's making you say ugh the most? Okay. That's the first role that you need to fill. All right. So let's look at these roles. All right. So here's a summary comparison of what different roles can and can't do. Okay. You've got a BAM VA. They can do tactical tasks. They're not much of a strategy person. So a strategy person, you need to go to someone like an OBM. That would be your person that would handle strategy better. An executive assistant is better at strategy, but they're not an OBM when it comes to strategy. Or I'll even throw another one in there, a business strategist. They really have your strategy honed in. Okay. When it comes to admin work, we have a BAM VA can absolutely handle your admin work. An executive assistant handles admin work. And OBM, that's really kind of low level for them. So it's very limited because that's not the stuff they're looking to do. They're looking to do stuff on a higher level for your business. Okay. The next thing is custom design. Okay. So we get a lot of people who come in and they want very particular special designs, not Canva designs. We're talking like different designs, like more, I can't think of the tool name right now. My gosh, my brain went blank. A special Adobe, like an Adobe tool, right? Adobe Illustrator, like a very special, somebody that went to college for graphic design. Okay. That's going to be more of a graphic designer. Okay. So that's a graphic designer if you just want a certain graphic. Okay. But when it comes to graphic design that can be done in Canva, that is 1,000% something that a BAM VA can do. It's not something that an executive assistant would do or an OBM. Again, that's just really under what they do. That's just their higher pay grade for that. Okay. When it comes to team management, that is an OBM That is something an OBM does. Okay. They would work with your team, manage your team, make sure that your team is where they're supposed to be. And again, that's kind of a Lindsay too, right? So Lindsay's making sure Jenna is where she's supposed to be. Your BAM VA, Josh's BAM VA, Jenna's BAM VA, they're not going to call and say, hey, Josh, are you on this call right now? That's not their job, right? They're behind the scenes working on things, getting presentations ready, doing websites. That is what they do. Okay. BAM can also do things such as ClickUp. So like project management, Slack, Google Workspace, any emails, all those things. Executive assistants really work within your Google Workspace and your calendars, making sure everything is nice and organized and ready for you. OBMs, they're really that project management as well as that person to make sure you're in the right spot, that ops person, and PMing tools as well, which I think any kind of project management tools works for that. All right, so let's talk cost when it comes to these people, okay? A BAMVA is obviously someone that is at the lower end of the totem pole when it comes to hiring. So you're talking anywhere from $500 to $1,300 a month, depending upon what you need. Your results in working with them is you're going to have more time, cleaner systems, consistent marketing, better visibility, and up-to-date content. For consideration from this is really your best all-around value with trained multi-skilled support, okay? This is a person that you must provide and approve tasks for, okay? An executive assistant, again, you're going up in price point. This is like $1,500 to $4,000 a month. You're going to have a less chaotic calendar. They're really going to organize your calendar better for you. You're going to have a beautifully clean, organized inbox and peace of mind for daily tasks getting done. They don't do support with marketing, tech, or business growth. Okay. They're really there to support you as the CEO of your business. And then we have the OBM. Okay. And that's more the Lindsay, the ops behind your business, $2,000 to $6,000 a month. Strategic planning, team delegation, smoother operations, and launches. Jenna, do you agree with that? Lindsay helps with all of that stuff, helps your launches. Everything goes smoother because Lindsay is in Jenna's life. But she doesn't implement tasks and she may still need others to execute different things for her. Okay. Again, Jenna with her BAM VA, she gives her work such as, do these reels for me, do this presentation for me, all those things. And that is what her BAM VA is working on behind the scenes. Okay. So if you need both marketing and admin help, that's when you could choose a BAM VA for the lower price point. Okay. All right. So who should you really hire first? I have a link to a quiz and I'm going to drop that in the group for you. So go ahead and look in the group when this is all done. Oh, and she also creates YouTubes for you. Yes. So go ahead and look for that link in our group when we are done today. Okay. That will be in the group for you. All right. So how many of you are thinking that hiring actually feels risky? Hiring feels risky. Like hiring someone, it's like, oh my gosh, I am risking $500 a month. I am risking all this. Yes, yes, yes. And that's because it often has been for many people. Okay. So this would be what I would expect you to feel.
I
Okay.
think too, like
Yeah.
Heather, I just went to a big event and with a lot of coaches who've been in the game a long time.
Yeah.
The biggest like thing that was going on is people are afraid and certainty is the like word, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm not certain if I make this investment that I will get my return. I'm not certain if I hire someone that they'll be able to do the things that'll get me back into the pieces of my business that I want. And I think that's a really important thing. I think that's what we're all looking for right now, to your point. And I
Yeah.
love this question about does this feel risky? Because I don't know about you guys, but every single investment that I look to make, I'm like, how certain am I that I'm actually going to get something out of this? And I think that's where everything feels very scary right now. And that's why I love that you kind of break this down. So, anyways,
Yeah.
I thought that's important.
Yeah, no, that's good. And Brad just said in the comments, coaches don't like uncertainty. And that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So you need to feel confident when you're hiring somebody, and hiring the right person is key to all of this. But what happens if you hire the wrong person? Well, many of you have been there, right? We are all looking in 2025 for that easy button, right? We want to go out there and we just want to find somebody off the streets and we want to pay them, $10 an hour, $5 an hour. We want to pay those prices, right? So that we can get things done in our business. But that's the easy button. You're not finding somebody at that price point that is truly trained in everything you want them trained in. Okay. And you've been there before. All right. And that's not on you. It's you were pushing that easy button and it's just the way our world is working right now. But what you need is a system that fills in the blanks for you. All right. So how do you find the right person? So you've tried the online job platforms, referrals, and random DMs. Oh, how many of you get those random DMs from setters, from VAs just saying, hey, looking for a job? Well, that's not their fault. That's what they're taught in many courses. Me, I get them too, you guys. I get them too. And it's really funny to me when I get them because I'm like, wait a minute, you're reaching out to me. You don't even know what I do, right? I get emails, I get DMs, like I'm a VA and I can help, your company. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you clearly haven't even looked into what I do. All right. So too many options equals you to freeze. All right. When you have too many options, you're like, forget it. I'm not going to do anything. You want fewer choices, higher trust, and faster decision making. Am I right? Am I right? Okay. You keep rehiring, retraining, and then you wonder, is it just me? All right. So what should you do instead? All right. So we use a placement system, trained and vetted role ready VAs who matches your business with style and systems. Okay. This is less overwhelm, more momentum. Let someone else vet and shortlist. You just say yes or no. Okay. So what a company like mine does is we put out an application for VAs. And I kid you not when I tell you within an hour, I have 500 applications because VAs know us. We're known in the industry now is somewhere people want to work. What do I do with those? Well, I have my business ops person. Okay. My business ops person and I go through every single one of those 500 applications and we start getting rid of them, getting rid of them, getting rid of them. We weed out until we have the right people that we want to proceed in talking to. Then we do an interview and we vet them and we see, is this somebody that can learn our systems and learn our way of doing them? Then after that, there's so much more that goes into it. We literally put them through school of learning exactly what we want them to learn. So we just wanted to make sure that VA, what does we vet them mean? We vet them means we look at them and we make sure they're capable of doing the job that we teach them to do. Okay. They're not doing what they've learned in the past. They're doing what we teach them to do for our clients. Okay. So once you hire, what do you need to do? Whether you hire from me, whether you hire from someone else, this is just what do you do when you hire? Okay. You hire someone, great. And then you realize, I don't even know where to start. This is so normal. This is like 90% of the people out there. They hire somebody and then they freeze. They're like, oh my gosh, I just hired somebody. What do I do? How do I handle them? Okay. You're probably not fully organized in your business. And I will tell you, I get some of the biggest clients coming to me, clients that I would never in a million years, like you would see these names on the streets and you would think, oh my gosh, they're clearly very organized. They're multimillionaires. They're, doing a great job in their business and God bless them. God bless them because guess what? They're just like you. They come to me, they've been lucky and they've had lucky things happen. But when it comes to organization, it's not there. And it's hard to tell them in the beginning that guess what? You're not as organized as maybe you think you were, but we can help with that. Now, if you are, kudos to you. That is amazing. And I'm so glad you got that gift of organization because this was me, Josh said. Yeah, this was me as in you weren't quite as organized, right? As you thought you were. Yeah. And so you are closer to being ready than you think.
No,
Okay.
Heather, I was saying
Yeah,
this was me.
please.
I was saying this was me when you were talking about you hire and then you don't even know what to give them
Oh,
to do.
yeah.
Yellamar, I literally gave Yellamar like nothing to do the first like 3 weeks that we worked together.
Yeah.
And so I just want to emphasize one of the beautiful things about what Heather does is she's like, okay, let's not have you waste your BAM's time. And she
Yep.
gives you some training and gives you some tools, some ClickUp tools, things like that. It's
Yep.
fantastic. But yeah, that was totally me. I was like, somebody great. Now what do I do with them? So
Yeah,
yeah,
no, you're
been there.
exactly right. And that's very normal, right? And that's very normal. So what if you hire somebody that is not part of an agency or just somebody single out there that doesn't fully understand, well, I'm a VA, I just know what to do. I don't, or I know how to do it. I don't know what to do for you. Okay. So if your Google Drive is chaotic, guess what? Your VA will be chaotic too. And I say Google Drive because honestly, I truly think Google Drive is one of the best tools that we can use for super, super cheap in our businesses to help get us organized. And that's not project management necessarily, it's part of project management, but it's systems management. That is what we're using Google Drive for. Okay. Your SOPs don't need to be perfect, but documentation of the most important tasks in an organized system that your VA needs to know is incredibly important. They just need to exist in an orderly way. All right. That's enough to get started. They can help clean it up from there. Messy action equals no action. And Helen is asking, what is an SOP? An SOP is a standard operating procedure. Standard operating procedures are basically your step by step guide in how to do something. That is, implement anything in your business. Okay, Helen? So essentially, if you were to tell me, your person you are hiring, you were to say to me, Heather, I need you to go launch an event for me. I'm going to have an event and it's going to be a launch and I need this done. Okay, what have you just told me to do? You have not given me any steps in how to do it right, okay, or how to do it the way your business brain tells it to be done,
Awesome to
okay?
go on the shoot. Amazing.
And there's reason that I don't just give people SOPs either. I don't just give SOPs out to all my clients for a very good reason. Your business brain is right here. My business brain is, well, your business brain is in your head. How's that? My business brain is right here. They're all very different. We all have a different way of doing things. Our job in the first 30 days of you bringing us on, our job is to pull those SOPs or those task steps out of your brain as much as we possibly can. And we turn those into beautiful SOPs for you. Okay. It's not something we used to do in our business. It is something we do now. And I'm finding over and over and over again that our clients are just beyond thrilled with us doing this for them. All right. So here's what we do. We have a 30-day blueprint where we come in, we organize your Google Drive with a full SOP library on all the things you need for your business. Now, again, are we doing this alone? No, we are not putting our SOPs in there. We are using your SOPs that you don't even know you have. Okay. We are pulling that out of your brain. It is a lot of Google Docs for you to fill out when you begin your onboarding with us. Okay, I'm not going to lie. We're asking you a lot of questions. We are asking you to think because we are truly going in and getting you and your business organized so that when you work with your BAM VA, they're able to actually implement and do the things for you that you want them to do. Okay. And that is what we truly specialize in. We do that for you. Okay. Now, what happens if you don't fix that? So you just bring on a VA, you just bring on an executive assistant, OBM, a graphic designer, you just bring someone onto your business. What happens if you don't fix that? Well, here's what's going to happen. You're just going to stay in the weeds and your VA is just going to keep asking questions and you're both going to feel stuck. And that's truly what's going to happen. Okay. All right. So let's just recap the steps that we just walked through. All right. So first off, are you ready to hire? So give me kind of like a little message here. Just let me know in the chat. Do you feel after listening to this, did this help give you any aha moments? Did you have any feelings of, okay, this is telling me I'm really not ready to hire? Is this telling me, yes, I am ready to hire? Where are you at? Where are you at in your business? I want to see it in the chat. I know that we have a lot of people on right now. So, um, not ready. Okay, Helen's not ready. And I'm glad that you can see that. I'm glad that you can see that. Okay. John, I've always wanted to hire for tech and marketing, just not feasible at the moment. Okay. And maybe that's your step two. Can I afford it? Okay. Action Jackson's ready. Chewbacca is ready. Tessa, not ready yet. Okay, that's fine. I'm glad you guys are seeing that because honestly, and Vivian already has a band VA. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So hopefully this has also made you think about some more things that you can have her do for you. You totally see the value when the time is right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So the second question then is, are you ready to hire? Can you afford it? Can you afford it? Can you afford not to hire? Again, let's think about that little homework that we did to the side when we talked about dividing your number of hours you're working and the tasks that you are actually doing. How many of those hours are spent on income producing activities? Or are you spending them all on admin and something you could pay someone a whole lot cheaper to do for you so you can go out there and make those sales that need to be sold? Marie's not quite ready yet. I realized you need to have a better idea of what to expect from a VA. Yes,
Can
yes.
I ask a quick question?
Yeah, please.
For those of you in the chat that are saying, I'm not ready yet, can you just list why in the chat you feel that way? And it's not to question your thought process, because I do
Yeah.
think, when right?
Yeah.
But I'm just curious, what is the thought that makes you feel I'm not ready? Because, right, one of the things we want to think about is we don't expect you to have your documents in order. We don't expect you to have the processes figured out. We don't have, millions of dollars coming in, right? Like those are not the things that tell you you're ready. So just curious. I love that. Steve's like, yeah, I just launched. I will
Yeah.
hire early, but I literally just launched, right?
Right.
Super fair. Gianna, I'm caregiving for my mom, rebuilding my business, so basic needs need to be met first. Totally, right?
Yep.
This is really, really, really helpful. So just curious, right? If anybody's like, oh, I'm just not
Yeah.
quite ready. Always just curious what makes you feel that way. Because I think one of the biggest things I've learned in business, and I do think one of the reasons why we're successful when maybe some people aren't, is I never feel ready. I'm like, I have an idea, I put it out, I do the thing. Like, I'll give you an example. Like I was like, oh, I should do done for you social media. I did a post, I got a $2,000 a month client last night. You know what I mean? Like, I go from idea, action, done in about 30 seconds, which really makes my team insane. But action speed, I think, is what, makes you win. So, anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know you will never feel ready for anything we ever tell any of you to do. Like, that's basically moral of the story.
No, that's actually a really good thing. And just kind of a side lesson, right? Is as a coach, when you get an idea, do it. Just make it happen. Okay. Follow your intuition. Like Jenna was saying, she had an idea. She put a post out there just to see if people were interested. They were interested. She's like, great. We're going to have this offer. I don't even know a lot about the offer, but we're going to do it. Okay. So that is true. Not
And
really a feeling.
Heather,
Yeah. Yeah.
sorry,
Please.
I just
No,
want
you're
to
good.
jump in real quick too, because
Please.
one of the big things I know for me, one of the big things was, can I afford it? Exactly what you're saying right there. Step number
Yep.
two.
Yep.
And one of the things that I've solved with my membership is because here's what I lived with. I got a $10,000 sale today. Awesome. I don't know if I'm going to be able to replicate that next month. So I can't invest it. I can't commit to a monthly fee for a VA because I don't know if I'm going to replicate. So instead of living in abundance, I was living in scarcity, right? Even though I just made $10,000. And then maybe I made another $10,000 the very next week. But again, it's like, I don't know if I can replicate this. So one of the things that I changed in my business was everything became a monthly recurring revenue. Even my one-on-ones, I broke it down into monthly payments. I didn't take any lump sums, which is interesting. I actually talked with Don's team, and if you'll notice, their certification is now monthly rather than a lump sum of 10 or $12,000. So the idea here is again, we all three of us work together very well because I want you guys to hire as quickly as possible, which means I want you to have monthly recurring revenue so that you know right off the bat, hey, I'm making $10,000 a month or I'm making $5,000 a month. So I know I can afford 500 for my BAM. I know I can afford this and I know I can afford these expenses at home, the needs at home. And you stop living in scarcity and you start living in abundance because the moment I wish I'd hired a year earlier because honestly, I hired and once I figured out what to do with my BAM, once Heather helped me to figure that out, honestly, that first week, I saved probably 10 to 15 hours of work and actually gave me time to make more sales. So I recouped my investment very quickly. So that's why I say is this idea of can I afford it? We want to get you out of that scarcity mindset and the lump sums. There's a time for a lump sum. There really is. But if we can get you into making money every month and it's recurring and you know you're going to make it and then you know that's your budget, you can hire a lot sooner. That I'm going to eliminate that. I don't even want you guys, if you're in my membership and you're like, well, I can't afford it. I want to be like, okay, why? Because you should be doing monthly recurring revenue. That's the goal, right? And then we can talk about, well, I've got, for example, I mean, yeah, you've got a lot on your plate if you're taking care of your mom, you're taking care of personal things. You got a lot on your plate if you're brand new and you're just getting up and running. But guys, I promise you, again, I hired even then, even when I was making monthly recurring, and then I hired, I was like, oh, I don't know. I mean, this is a monthly commitment. Should I? Can I? I did it and I've never looked back. In fact, I'm now paying Heather like gobs of money for, I
How
don't
many
know.
BAM VAs do you have, Josh?
No, but I am.
Three.
Yes, I just keep adding to my
He
team
does. He keeps adding team
because
members.
because Heather does a great job of when she finishes, I'm going to talk about one little thing of why again Heather's agency is so much better than the others out there. Why I've partnered with her and said, hey, can you come and teach my group of people because and I just want to leave it to the end. But anyways, that's my thing. Just on the can I afford it thing. If that's what you're thinking, well, I'm not making the money, then you need to get a system that gives you monthly recurring revenue.
Yes, exactly. And also to add to that, the mindset, right? I think you need to flip that around. How can I afford not to? So in my previous business, I had talked about I had this previous business. It was a very successful business, very successful. But what happened and why this business came to be was because as soon as I hired my very first VA, I doubled my income that month. Doubled my income that month. Guess what? I think she's actually on this call with us today. So she has been with me since day one. She is now my executive BAM VA. She's beyond amazing. I can't even tell you how much I dearly love her and her family. But with that being said, that is what helps you. It's can you afford not to hire somebody? Okay. So just keep that in the back of your mind as you're thinking through things. And then what kind of help do you actually need? Okay. So remember, are you hiring a true VA, a BAM VA, an executive assistant, an OBM, a graphic designer? Who are you hiring? A website designer? Is it something you just want one time and just a website? Like make sure that you hire the right person. You're going to have more success when you hire that right person. And then step 4, how do you prepare so it doesn't fall apart? And remember, you don't have to have all your SOPs in order to work with us. You just need to have your brain and be ready to fill out some documents so that we can organize those things for you. And there's no extra cost on that, by the way. It's just what we do during the first month. Okay. I used to be the one to do it with the clients, and now the BAM VAs do it with the clients, and they do a fantastic job. So that way there's no extra fees for our clients. All right. So if you do feel that you are ready to make this real, let's just talk really quickly about your next step. Okay. You don't need more discipline. You need systems that work with your brain and support that keeps your momentum going. So we're going to talk really quickly about just a special offer, and then I'm going to turn it over to Josh for you guys. This is going to be through the next week. Okay. Typically, our onboarding call for you in a BAM VA is $497, and we're going to discount that for you 50% off to $248. Okay. Plus, I'm going to give you a 60-minute strategy call, which I charge $500 an hour for my clients for strategy calls. And we're going to give that to you for free. Okay. So you're going to be able to book your BAM VA with us. You're going to be able to get that $250 basically discount for your onboarding, as well as an extra 60-minute strategy call. So I can sit down with you and talk about, okay, what would a VA look like in your business? What are the things that you can fully have them do? What is a strategy that you can use to have the best success with them in your business? Okay. And that is on top of an onboarding call you already get, which is a 90-minute call with me and your BAM VA, or plural BAM VAs, depending upon what you're looking at. Okay. So if that is something you are interested in, what I would like you to do is just scan right here and you can book a call with me. First off, I'm just going to make sure it's a good fit for you before you fully sign up. Okay. I don't ever want anyone to sign up without finding out if this is exactly what you truly do need for your business. So, right here, you can sign up for a quick 30-minute call with me and we'll go over everything and figure out if this is what you need. And then again, you will be eligible for all of these extra special offers that I'm going to do for you guys. All right. So, I'm going to leave it there. Are there any specific questions really quickly? I think we can do questions for like a minute, and then we'll turn it over to Josh. Anything specific? Are you guys seeing anything pop up in the chat? Yeah, 2020 is always hindsight. It's so true, Paul. 2020 is hindsight. Like, yes, I wish so badly I would have gotten a VA sooner in my old business, but that's okay. It worked out great the way it is now. Um, Income stream. Yeah. So Josh is going to teach you how to get that income stream. If that is what you truly feel like you need more of, you need to be in Josh's membership for sure. Okay. If there's no questions, Josh, I will hand it over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Heather. Thank you for that. Guys, Don is going to be hopping in here in just a handful of minutes here. So he's going to be jumping in to teach you the foundation. You see, everything we've taught you is, this is the way to break that six-figure mark, that 250K mark, but there's got to be a foundation there. And the foundation is, how do I get those qualified leads? How do I let people know what I'm doing? And there's a really specific way to do that. Donald Miller has been one of the leading marketers. He's worked with people in the U.S. government, military organizations. He's worked with Procter and Gamble. He's worked with insurance companies, large banks. He has helped them to story brand their business. So he's going to be here in a minute. But before he jumps in, I just wanted to tack on here what Heather was saying. When the very first thing that I did was when I first hired a VA. I went with one of those, and you guys have probably seen the ads where it says, hey, get 8 VAs for the price of one, right? And it was an agency where they worked behind the scenes, and I just worked with a project manager. And that was a huge mistake. Now, the company was great. They tried very hard. But what I love about Heather's program is that I'm working directly with my VA. I have contact with them. That if they do something that I don't like, or that they need to change, or like, for example, last minute say, hey, send this email out real quick. They are right there. I don't have to wait to go through a project manager to then take it to this person who takes it to this person, and on down the chain. And so I absolutely love Heather's program because of that. The other thing is when you work with an agency like Heather's, she talked about the cost of hiring and then firing, right? That you hire somebody, they don't work out, then you got to fire them. And then you hire somebody else and they don't work out. Or maybe you're not working out for them, right? It's expensive. Exactly, Jen. It's so expensive. Expensive in your time, expensive in your pocketbook, expensive in your business. Everything costs something. So with Heather, the great thing is if they're not working out right away, and this might be either because of you or them, a personality, or just whatever the case might be. Maybe you thought you needed a tech BAM, and really what you needed was an organizational BAM, or somebody to run things behind the scenes for you. You can just talk to Heather and she'll swap them out. She'll help you find the right one. Now, I'll tell you this much. I've not had to swap one out yet. She has always nailed it because she is very thorough. But the great thing is that you can do that, which is a lot faster, a lot easier, and a lot less expensive than having to fire, rehire. That's why I love this agency model that Heather has. And again, I'm working directly with my BAMs. Those are something that we want to make sure we're doing. Heather, did you mention why we call them BAMs?
Yeah, I think business and marketing VAs.
Yeah, business
Yeah.
and marketing. So we just call them our BAMs. We love them. One of my BAMs, recently she made the decision, and I fully support it because you guys know I'm a big proponent of the twin win. She has the opportunity to homeschool her children and be at home with them full time. And she was absolutely amazing. I miss her. In fact, even this morning, I saw she posted something, and I told her how much I miss her, but I fully support and so grateful. You know, one of the things that I want you guys to think about, and this is what I told her, and I want you guys to think about, this is the way I live my life. I call it the twin win, but really it's about I don't want to give the best of myself to my business and the rest of myself to my family. I want to give the best of myself to my family and then and the best of myself to my business. It's called work-life harmony. People call it work-life balance. I think of balance as like the scales of justice, and you're weighing one against the other. When it's work-life harmony, what you do outside of work gives you the fuel to show up as your best self in work, which then gives you the resources to show up as your best self outside of work, which gives you the fuel to show up. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not a best of and rest of situation. It's you're truly giving that. I absolutely love that I get to do that in my business, and I love that I help other clients do that. Again, it's called that twin win philosophy. And I know that is exactly what Jenna created Group Track to help people get, she didn't know it at the time, but she to help people get the twin win. Because why spend all day in the DMs when we can have a system that uh, um, now my words are leaving me. A software that can do it for us. Same with Heather. Why do all of the little things? I always say that CEO stands for Chief Everything Officer. And why be a chief everything officer when we can buy back our time, when we can have other people do the things that we want? And so, since we're still waiting for Donald, we have a couple minutes. He's going to be hopping on in. And by the way, if he hops on and I miss it, somebody just stop me from talking. He's going to be hopping on about 3 minutes here. But while we have that, I want you guys to think about something. I want you to think about um, a wheel, a circle, and then draw an X through it. Okay. At the bottom quadrant is called your drudgery zone. Your drudgery zone are things that you are not proficient in and you do not enjoy doing. So you're not good at it and you don't like doing it anyways. Your drudgery zone should be the things you're seeking to get rid of immediately. I call it running through the task aid, ADE, task aid system. Automate, delegate, or eliminate. Get rid of that as quickly as possible. Now, when we're the chief everything officer, we're going to have to do some of that. Then let's think about on the right-hand side of that quadrant, you've got what's called the disinterest zone. The disinterest zone are things that you are proficient at, but you're not passionate about. So, for example, I was actually talking with Viv this morning. I'm proficient at making websites, but I'm not passionate about it. I can do it pretty good, but I'm not passionate about it. Plus, it takes me a lot longer than if I had somebody else doing it for me. Then on the other side of that, on the left side of your quadrant, you've got the distraction zone. Distraction. So the distraction zone is things that you are passionate about, but not proficient. I am passionate about playing the piano, but I'm not very good. I'm not very proficient at it. So this distracts you in your business because what happens is you love doing, maybe you love doing the websites, but it takes you a week to build a website when a VA could do it in a day or two. So it's distracting you from doing the things you need to be doing. Then right at the top, that top quadrant, that is your desire zone. And you're going to hear me talk about your desire zone in the membership. And anytime you hear me on talking on social media, the desire zone is where we want to put you. Those are things that you are both passionate about and proficient at. So, what should you get rid of first? If you're passionate and you're proficient, you want to be right there. What you want to get rid of first are your drudgery zone, not passionate, not proficient. The second thing you want to get rid of, can you guys put it in the chat? Let me see if you guys know what the second thing you should be getting rid of. Let's see. I'm just waiting for it. Any guesses? Unhealthy snacks. Yeah, you should be getting rid of those too. TikTok. So, okay, I see Don coming in. The second thing you should get rid of is the zone you should be getting rid of is your distraction zone. Your distraction zone, because it's just distracting you. And then eventually get rid of the things in your disinterest zone and try to get everything that you're doing in your desire zone. Now, I see that we have Don Miller has joined us. Donald Miller. I'm going to go ahead and introduce him and bring him up. Guys, this is such a special treat to have Donald here. If we can bring him up on screen alongside me while I introduce him. Coach Builder, Donald Miller, Coach Builder. There we go. See, there he is. There's the man. Guys, Donald Miller, he is the CEO of StoryBrand AI, and Coach Builder. He is the author of several books, including bestsellers, Building a Story Brand 2.0, Marketing Made Simple, Coach Builder, and How to Grow Your Small Business, which is the book I used to take my business from a solopreneur into a team and grow it. Donald, he is my neighbor here in Nashville, and he lives with his wife, Elizabeth, and their daughter, Emmeline. Everybody, I'd like for you to, everybody here on Zoom and everybody in the Facebook group, give it up for my friend and mentor, Don Miller. Take it away, Don.
Big heart for growing people's coaching businesses, mainly because I am a coach. I have some clients that I coach myself, but also my life has been dramatically changed by coaches. So if there's anything I can do to help you impact more people's lives, I'm all about it. Specifically, I want to talk about the part of building a business that is about messaging. Now, I am not a conspiracy theorist. I don't believe in magic. However, I do have this one kind of strange belief, and it's this. I believe there are magic words that will grow your business. I believe there are magic words that will grow your business. What do I mean by that? I mean, I think you can come up with a tagline, some sound bites, and specifically 5 different sound bites that will cause your business to grow. I really do believe in magic words. And today, I want to help you figure out what your magic words are. I want to help you find your magic words. Again, what do I mean by magic words? I mean sound bites that you can use that make people want to do business with you. I mean sound bites that you can use as a leader that make people want to follow you. Sound bites that you can use that make people want to adopt your ideas. Sound bites that you can use that make people want to adopt your plan. Sound bites that you can use that make people want to vote for you. The way that people get behind you as a leader, get behind your products and use those products, they hear words that make them want to buy from you. And what we really call that is a messaging campaign. A messaging campaign is a little bit different than a marketing campaign because it's like a marketing campaign, but it's really about the words that you are using. You know, when you go to an ad agency or a marketing agency, they're obsessed with the colors that you're using. They're obsessed with your logo. They're obsessed with brand identity style guides. I'm not obsessed with any of that. In fact, I think Amazon.com, for example, is a really ugly website, but they make more money than God. So we've proven there that you don't need an attractive brand to actually make money. What you need are the right words. Last thing I bought on Amazon, I saw the word overall pick. That made me want to know more. I read a couple of reviews. I thought that's going to solve my problem. I placed my order. In other words, I placed my order based on the words that were used to describe the offer. So what is a messaging campaign? Well, a messaging campaign is a series of ideas expressed in sound bites that position your product, you as a coach, as the solution to your customers' problems. A series of ideas expressed in sound bites that position your products as the solution to your customers' problems. Here's the trick. The faster your customer can associate their problem with your solution, the faster they will buy. The buying process is really about understanding the problem that the customer has and communicating what your solution is to that problem. If they believe that's the solution and they believe that it's cost effective, they will then pull out their wallet to buy it. That's what you've got to do. If you use confusing words, if you use sophisticated words, if you use clever words, that buying process slows to an absolute halt. So it's the words that you're using and the efficacy of the words that you're using. Let me give you an example. We got called by a guy named Jeb Bush, governor of Florida. He's running for president. And his team called and said, can you come to Florida and help us figure this out? We're losing to this guy, Donald Trump. Now, I'm not a fan of the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. I've actually helped entities of both with specific like immigration reform or national security, things like that. But I'm not a fan of the political parties. I think they're bad for the country right now. However, if you want to study the efficacy of messaging, just study political campaigns. Jeb Bush wrote a book on immigration, an entire book. He had a theory, a philosophy, a playbook, a plan on immigration. Donald Trump had 3 words, build a wall, and the 3 words beat the book. So that's an example of the fact that if you have a soundbite, it can beat actual deep knowledge of a situation. Is that any excuse not to have deep knowledge? No, it's no excuse. It is, however, saying have the deep knowledge, but you better have the soundbite that sells it or you're going to lose to somebody else. So soundbites are incredibly important. Now, why are they so important? They're important because before the human mind makes a decision to buy something or to follow you as a leader, it has to go through 3 phases. The mind goes through 3 phases. Those 3 phases are curiosity, enlightenment, and commitment. Something about the way you're describing that product has made me curious. I am curious. Therefore, I want to be enlightened. And once I'm enlightened and I realize, okay, this is going to work for me, I am willing to commit. You cannot shortcut this. You have to take people through curiosity, enlightenment, and commitment. What makes somebody curious? One thing makes somebody curious. Do you have something that will help me survive? The human brain is always looking for a survival asset. It's looking for more money, more comfort, a better night's sleep, a better relationship with my wife. I can become a better communicator. I can have less anxiety. I can reduce my cholesterol. The only thing that human beings spend money on, the only leaders that we follow are people, things, products, ideas, projects, plans that will help us survive. Now, in a first world economy and Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we're beyond food and shelter. We're into very sophisticated forms of survival. But unless I can actually associate your product with my survival, I will not get curious. You will not capture my attention. And the only way to do that is a soundbite that makes you say, wait a second, this guy has something I might need. Please enlighten me. So the sound bites are incredibly important. So the first phase of a 3-phase messaging campaign are survival sound bites. These are sound bites that you are going to use to associate your product with a solution to a customer's problem. By the end of this keynote, I'm going to give you 5 of them. I'm going to give you 5 survival sound bites that effectively move people into phase 2. Phase 2 are what I call enlightenment or due diligence documents. These are things where people sit down and say, okay, I want to know more about this. This is interesting, especially if it's really expensive. If it's $20, the enlightenment phase can last 5 seconds. It's literally like you just looking at the back of the jar and going, yeah, this doesn't have a lot of cholesterol. I think I'm going to buy it. Or these are the noodles I need, to make pasta tonight. But if I bought a $20,000 sauna recently, you better believe I watched some YouTube videos on the difference between an infrared sauna and whatever. And now I know this. Well, I guess you can just buy a custom kit, but God knows if I put that thing together, it's going to have holes in it. How much it's going to hire me? How much it's going to cost me to hire somebody to put it together in my garage? Blah, blah, blah. There was a due diligence phase, and I ended up spending about $4,000 extra bucks to get the one that I had competence in, even though I could save the money. I don't know if I know how to put this thing together. Let me buy the package where the guy comes into your garage and puts it together for you. That went from Curiosity, Curiosity was a Finnish study that said you have a 40% decrease in all forms of mortality if you use a sauna often. Done. Enlightenment phase, ton of YouTube videos, looking at websites. 2, I'm handing the guy my money in the commitment phase. So you need these survival sound bites. Then you need at least what I would consider 3 enlightenment documents, white papers, lead generators, case studies, YouTube videos, social media campaigns, all those sorts of things. Those are things where you enlighten people. And then there are ways to ask for the money where you close the deal. And that would be the calls to action or the commitment phase communication. Why does this work? This works because this is how the human brain works. The human brain builds relationships with other people, attaches its ego and identity to other people, other ideas and products based on whether or not I think you have something that can help me survive. I've done my due diligence, and yes, indeed, I believe that will work for me. And I pulled out my money and I bought it. There's something about you that appeals to me. You've enlightened me about what you would do if you were elected to the Senate. Okay, I'm going to vote for you. Curiosity, enlightenment, commitment. There's something about you that you have some coaching product that will help me save time, relieve anxiety, get more respect for my team, manage my team better, maybe increase revenue. I read some sort of YouTube, or I read some sort of a white paper, your case study about your relationship with some other client. Maybe I watched you on YouTube. Maybe I started following you on social media. And you know what? You've got a mastermind coming up. I think I'm going to pay you $25,000 to join it. That is it. If you are missing any communication pieces or sound bites in any of those 3 phases, you're losing money and you're losing impact. I think your business looks like a house. And what do I mean by that? Well, this house, for purposes of my metaphor, has 3 parts to it: front steps, a front porch, and a front door. Front steps, front porch, and a front door. Then it's a welcoming house. It's a warm house. If I'm taking my kid trick-or-treating, we're going to stop at this house for sure. Why is it so welcoming and so warm? It has front steps that get me to the front porch. Those front steps represent your 5 survival sound bites that I'm going to teach you to create in just a second. Now your front porch is where you're going to do the due diligence, or I'm going to do my due diligence, and you're going to enlighten me. We're going to sit on your front porch, and you're going to talk to me about how this works, the science behind it, the psychology behind it, how much it's going to cost. And then and only then will I say, you know what, I'll give you some money, and I walk through the front door. Now, most businesses, most coaches, most personal brands, most political leaders, their house doesn't look like this. This is a warm and inviting house. Show the house. This is a warm and inviting house. Okay. Your house looks like this. The front steps are missing, and the front door is boarded up. This is why you're having trouble growing your coaching business. This is why your clients, by the way, are having trouble growing their business. You think you have front porch sound bites that are making people curious, but you don't. You think you have really great enlightenment documents that are earning their trust and earning familiarity, but you do not. You think you're asking for the money boldly. You are not. You're being passive. You're being, I've got a coaching program. If you ever want to know about it, talk to me. I mean, that'd be like asking a girl out, hey, I date, call me. Is that going to work? No, it's not going to work. There are specific ways that you need to do this. So let's get started building your front porch right now. Grab a pen, grab a piece of paper. We're going to write your front porch sound bites because I guarantee you're missing them. And that will make a difference in your business. I call this the StoryBrand Soundbite Strategy. The StoryBrand Soundbite Strategy. And it starts with those front steps. All right, here are the front step sound bites that you need. You need a problem soundbite. That first step, the first bit of purchase that I make, that I take toward buying your product, is the problem. I need a soundbite that defines the problem that you own. And I want you to own a problem. Let me take you through an exercise real quick, coaches. When I say the number 3, I'm going to say the number 3 here in a second. I'm going to say the word 3. When I say that, I want you to think of the color red. Okay, you ready? I'm going to say 3, and you're going to think of, close your eyes, you're going to think of the color red. Here I go. 3. Now, what color did you think of when I said the number 3? I'll tell you what color you thought of. You thought of red. Why did you think of the color red? You thought of red because I told you to think of red. So you literally just did what I told you to do. Now, when I say I want you to own a problem, this is what I mean. If you think of being overwhelmed by the demands on your time, I want you to think of my coaching. When you think of being overwhelmed with the demands on your time, I want you to think of my coaching. For me personally, Donald Miller, when you're having trouble communicating your offer so that thousands of people are lined up, I want you to think of me. I'm the guy who's going to give you the words to say. And by the way, globally, I own that. I own clarify your message. Anybody with a confusing message or realizes they don't know how to talk about this, they call me, right? And I either go myself or I send them a facilitator or I send them a book or they buy a book. I own a problem in the world, and that problem is very lucrative. And I very, very, very much enjoy solving that problem. It's my favorite thing to do. I get to wake up. It's like doing a crossword puzzle, except I'm figuring out how to talk about what you do. I will do that till the day I die. I have a great time doing it. But I own a problem. So my question to you as coaches is, what problem do you own? And even regionally, even just locally, are you the guy on time management? Are you the woman on leadership and managing a team? I want you to own a problem. I was talking to somebody recently. They had a window washing company. And they said, Don, loved your keynote. What is the one thing that I can do to grow my window washing business? I said, easy. I said, I want you to go buy a bunch of business cards. Do not put your logo on the business card. Do not put the name of your phone, your company on the business card. Here's what I want you to put on the business card. These exact words. Look out your nearest window. If it is dirty, call this number. That's it. Put that on the card and put it in every mailbox in your town. And you will not suffer for business for the next 4 or 5 years. Why? Because you are owning a problem. What's the problem you own? Dirty windows. Now any other business would have put the logo, would have put it in a beautiful color, would have said window washing and pressure washing services. But that is not the soundbite that gets you to own a problem. And you need to own the problem. The next soundbite that you need an empathy soundbite. Once you discover or you own a problem, you need to say, and we care about people who have this problem. The we care part is really important. Why is it so important? It's important because it positions you as a caring guide helping the hero win. They are Luke Skywalker, you are Yoda. They are Katniss in the Hunger Games, you are Haymitch. They are James Bond, you are, I can't remember the guy who made the weapons for James Bond. Forgive me. You are the hero, you are the guide in the story helping the hero win. So as soon as you say, look, I hate the fact that you have these dirty windows, and I hate the fact that it's so expensive to clean them. I've got a solution to that problem. I hate the fact that you are suffering bonds you to the customer. You should not have to deal with being overwhelmed. You should not have to deal with those high taxes you are paying. You should not have to deal with is an empathetic statement that positions me as the guide helping you, the hero, win. You need an empathy soundbite. Next, you need what I call an answer soundbite. That is where you use a soundbite to position your product as the solution to the customer's problem. Your product needs to be the solution to the customer's problem. Look out the window. If it's dirty, call this number. I hate the fact that you're having to deal with dirty windows, and I hate the fact that it's so expensive to clean them. My window cleaning services sends 5 guys to attack your windows. It's done in an hour, and it's done cost effectively. That's my answer soundbite. The answer soundbite is the product being associated as the solution to the customer's problem. And you need that boiled down into a soundbite. The next thing you need is a soundbite that demonstrates the change that the customer will experience using your product. How are they going to be transformed? What are they going to be after they use your coaching product? Who will they become? A better communicator, a better manager of time, a better husband, a better wife, a better parent, a better friend, more wealthy, somebody who has more time on their hand, somebody who experiences more peace, less anxiety. Who are they going to become? You need a soundbite that talks about that. And then finally, you need an end result soundbite. This is the happy ever after soundbite, the way your life looks after you buy my product or service. Why the acronym PEACE? The acronym PEACE is, I made it the acronym PEACE because it really demonstrates that you are inviting the customer into a story. Let me tell you how story works. Story works this way. I'm actually going to draw it out for you. Story works just like this. You've got a character, and I am an incredible, incredible artist. What you are about to see is going to blow your mind. You won't believe that I just did this. Well, you can't even see it. It's a stick figure. It's a stick figure. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. Actually, we're live. Let's just look at it. Look at that stick figure. That's pretty bad. You're going to have to trust me that there's a stick figure on this piece of paper. The stick figure is walking down the street, and they are at peace. Everything is great. That's how a story works. You got a character, and they're at peace. The next thing that has to happen in the story, though, is the hero has to fall into a hole, some sort of hole. The girlfriend broke up with them. The IRS is after them. They lost their dog. They lost their job, whatever. And I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this or not. Bobby might be able to close in. Now we've got a hero inside of a hole, and that's the beginning of the story. I want you to own a problem. When I say own a problem, what I really mean is I want you to own a hole. Anybody who falls into this hole belongs to me. Anybody who's got anxiety, they belong to me. Anybody unable to manage a team belongs to me. Anybody paying too much in taxes belongs to me. Anybody who needs to clarify their message, they belong to Donald Miller. And the way that you own that hole is you keep talking about the problem in the exact same language over and over. Short, memorable, repeatable sound bites expressed in the same way on my website, my lead generators, my business card, if I give a keynote presentation, if I'm having coffee with somebody, if I'm at a cocktail party, it doesn't matter. I use the exact same language to describe that. That way, people, when they have that problem, they automatically think of me. And that's what I want you to create. The next thing that happens in the story is another person comes along, a second character, and they are the guide standing on the outside of the hole. They're looking into the hole, and they're empathizing with the person who fell into the hole, right? That is the guide. That's empathy. Then they throw a rope into the hole so that the person can climb out of the hole. That's the answer. That's the product as a solution to the problem. Then the person climbs out of the hole, and they are standing up here with the guide, next to the guide, because they climbed out of the hole, and they are changed. They are transformed. They are now somebody who is no longer in a hole. They are at peace. And then finally, there's a happy ever after soundbite that is a vision of what your life can be if you let me help you out of this hole. All right, let me give you an example of what this looks like in actual soundbites from an actual client. Just had a client come through about a month ago called You Need a Budget. You Need a Budget is an app. You buy this app off the App Store, and it helps you budget. That's what it does. $50 million a year, very successful app, grown every year since it's come out, and a fantastic team. However, they had a problem. They were talking over their clients' heads. They didn't know how to describe the app. They were saying things to me like, well, it's a budgeting app, but it's not about budgeting. It's really about spending. It's in the finance section, but it shouldn't be in the finance section. It should be in the lifestyle section because we help people live a better lifestyle. The more they talked about it, the less I understood what they were dealing with. And we got their entire team into a room here in Nashville, a room at my house. We spent the entire day, about the first 60 minutes going, what is it again? How you don't want to use the word budget. You don't want to call it a finance app, blah, blah. We got rid of all that because the way they were talking about their product, it was really, really confusing. It was very, very confusing. And I said, okay, let's come up with your 5 sound bites. Let me show you what those sound bites are. These are the sound bites for you need a budget. Problem: has there ever been a time when you've worried about money? That's it. What is that? They are going to own the problem of worried about money. Now, how many people have worried about money? Every human being on the planet has worried about money. So now we've just qualified a target audience called all of humanity. And they are going to own this problem. Empathy is, we know how it feels. Don't overthink the empathy statement. Just, we know how that feels. We feel for you. That's it. Answer: download the YNAB app. If you have this problem, or if you know anybody who's worried about money, tell them to download the YNAB app. Now, you see the power of owning a whole. If you own the problem of worried about money, and that problem, the experience of that problem triggers you to download the YNAB app, you're going to have millions of people downloading the YNAB app, because you have told me, when I say 3, think red. When you're worried about money, download the YNAB app. If your uncle's worried about money, tell him to download the YNAB app. If your kids are worried about money, download the YNAB app. If you want to get good with money, download the YNAB app. If you're bad with money, download the YNAB app. Anything negative about money means download the YNAB app. And you're trying to train the entire body politic. You're trying to train the masses. When you are in this hole, buy my product. When you are in this hole, hire me as a coach. When you feel this, hire me to do this. And you're not going to be able to do that if you speak in nuanced ways, clever ways, confusing ways, if you're deep into the weeds. That's the enlightenment phase. And too many of us as coaches, we don't have those front steps that are causing us to own a whole. So the answer is download the YNAB app. The change: and get good with money. That's how I'm transforming you. I am going to help you get good with money. In fact, they like that line so much that get good with money is the brand new YNAB tagline as of 1 month ago. What do they help you do? Get good with money. What do you do if you're bad with money? Download the YNAB app. We're going to help you get good with money. What do you do if you're dating a guy who's bad with money, ladies? Have him download the YNAB app, because he needs to get good with money before he ever puts a ring on that finger. Trust me, he better. I have a daughter. He better get good with money. We're going to help you get good with money. All right, the end result is really great, so that you never have to worry about money again. Now, notice these sound bites. They are a story. Has there ever been a time when you've been worried about money? Have you ever been in a hole? We know how that feels. We are outside of you. We are not you, but we know how that feels. We empathize with you. We have just positioned ourselves as the guide in the hero's life. Download the YNAB app is the rope that I'm throwing into the hole. I'm pulling you out of the hole. And when I pull you out of the hole, by the way, you are different. You are now good with money, and you live happily ever after, so that you never worry about money again. Look how few words that is, but it effectively invites you into a story. Now, if you are Todd Curtis, the CEO of YNAB, and you're at a cocktail party and somebody says, "What do you do, Todd?" You are going to say, "I'm a coach." I will not let Todd say he's the CEO of YNAB. Here's what he's got to say. "Well, have you or anybody else you've known ever worried about money?" Well, of course. I mean, we've all worried about money. Yeah, well, I know how it feels to worry about money, and my team knows how it feels to worry about money. We have an app called YNAB. You download it in the App Store. And when you download this app, it helps you get really good with money, so that you never have to worry about money again. I'm the CEO, by the way, of YNAB. Wow. Wow. That is a completely different way of introducing yourself. It's narrative, it's interesting. And now Todd, as the CEO of an app called YNAB, if Todd is the CEO of that, well, I don't know, Todd's kind of interesting as the CEO. There's a lot of CEOs. But now Todd as the CEO is ridiculously elevated. He is taking a universal global human problem and he's solving it. So that guy is a really valuable human being. And coaches, let me tell you something. If anybody asks what you do, never, ever, ever let me hear you say that you're a coach, at least not at first. What I want you to say is, a lot of people struggle with X. I have a product and I feel for them. I don't think they should have to struggle with X. I'm a coach. And I teach them to overcome X so that they are much more competent and live happily ever after. That is how you introduce yourself. And you introduce yourself that way with these 5-piece sound bites: problem, empathy, answer, change, end result. All right, let's look at this with a brand. I want to zoom in on a brand. By the way, we're about 15 minutes away from me being able to answer some of your specific questions. So be preparing those questions. Let's look at the brand Warby Parker. Warby Parker makes glasses, right? They make glasses so you can see better. This is their house, cute little house, 5 front steps, front porch with a rocking chair, front door, looks great. They blew up, by the way. What is their message? Well, let's zoom in on that front porch. Problem: designer eyewear is outrageously expensive. So the problem that they solve is that there was essentially kind of a monopoly on eyewear. There were a few companies, they were all using the same manufacturers, and they were charging an arm and a leg, massive amounts of money to buy a pair of glasses. And Warby Parker said, we're going to interrupt that. The problem we're going to solve is glasses are way too expensive. Empathy. We know how painful it is to spend $300 to $500 for a pair of glasses. Don't overthink empathy, by the way. It's just we know that hurts. Answer: get fashionable, affordable glasses delivered to your home, risk-free. That was their answer to the expensive eyewear problem. Change: do not be one of the fools who pays too much for a pair of glasses. You used to be a fool. Now you are not a fool. And then finally, end result: look great in your new glasses and still have plenty of money in the bank. You could introduce yourself at a cocktail party this way. All of these lines, by the way, could go on your landing page, your website, your lead generators, all sorts of stuff. Now, let's look at the rest of their house, right? What's on the front porch? Well, I recommend, especially for you coaches, at least 3 lead generators or white papers or YouTube videos. You can make 1 million of them, but I want you to do at least 3 that begin to enlighten the customer. We have made them curious with our curiosity sound bites. Now we are going to enlighten them with due diligence documents or enlightenment documents, an enlightenment strategy. Now, this is what Warby Parker did. First, a lead generator, home try-on program, 5 pairs, free to try, risk-free. What you could do is a lunch and learn, or you can do a one-day session, a workshop. It could be a paid lead generator where it's $299 to attend my one-day workshop. And then I'm going to upsell you to a $10,000 mastermind, whatever. But there's the lead generator. A social campaign, customers posting their try-on photos and tagging friends, peer proof of affordability and style. And finally, educational content, blog posts, videos, and emails showing how the eyewear industry overcharges and how Warby Parker keeps costs low. This enlightens me and makes me want to walk through the front door. And now we need sales collateral, sales rep talking points, in-store associates repeating the sound bites about price, style, and risk-free returns, checkout and email messaging, free shipping, free returns, bonuses for if you do business right now, removing the risk, and then time-sensitive offers, discounts on lenses, limited time, free shipping, reinforcing look great, and still have money in the bank. So that is a 3-part messaging campaign that creates a warm and inviting house. Now you can have endless front porch material, endless front door material. I'm going to make you stick with 5 sound bites though. Those front step sound bites need to be fixed. However, you can go crazy with a good messaging campaign. In fact, what are all your options with a good messaging campaign? What does a messaging campaign actually look like? Well, let's go back to our communication triangle. On the curiosity phase, you could create a brand script. If you've read my book, Building a Story Brand 2.0, talks about creating a brand script, defining the narrative you use to invite customers into a story. You need your 5-piece sound bites that I just taught you to create. You can turn those into an elevator pitch, landing pages, social media posts. Now notice, the further we get away from curiosity and toward enlightenment, the more words we get to use, the more text we get to use. Lead generators. One of the lead generators I really loved with YNAB was 5 ways to know if your boyfriend is bad with money. That's a great lead generator. Tens of thousands of young women are going to download that lead generator to find out their boyfriends are terrible with money. Then what are they going to say? They're going to say, you need to download the YNAB app if we're going to keep dating. I'm not going to date a Yahoo. You need to figure this out. You need to get good with money, right? Great lead generator that reinforces the sound bites that we created on the front step. Video scripts. So Todd Curtis needs to go on YouTube and say, what does it mean to be good with money? Well, there are 5 things you need to do to be good with money. We teach you to do them in the YNAB app. You could use all sorts of social media hooks or culture hooks. 5 ways Taylor Swift is great with money. Thousands of people are going to read that article, and it's going to talk about how she uses many of the YNAB principles. You can get super creative in your messaging campaign. However, every aspect of your messaging campaign needs to help you own that whole and reinforce the 5 survival sound bites, the story you are inviting people into. Your advertising copy needs to be built on the foundation of your 5 steps. Email and text campaigns, all of this written to reinforce. Now notice we're turning the corner on enlightenment and we're heading to sales. Your sales rep talking points need to reinforce your messaging campaign, which are those 5 foundational messages. Your newsletters. I am launching a newsletter personally. Donald Miller is launching a newsletter. You know what the newsletter is called? Soundbite. That's what the newsletter is called. And it just looks at historical sound bites. I'm Not a Crook is the first episode by Nixon, right? Butter Makes It Better by Paula Deen is a sound bite that we'll talk about. I'll just talk about effective sound bites to build companies, to get people elected. Women and Children First is a sound bite used in the Titanic disaster. We're going to talk about why that sound bite existed and what was happening in culture that men really believed that women and children should go first. But why am I doing that? Because I want to reinforce the idea that Donald Miller owns the word soundbite. If you want a soundbite, call Don. If you want a soundbite, call one of his facilitators, buy his books, watch his on-demand courses. And I want you as a coach to own something like that as well. A mini book is something else. Now now we're using a lot more words, but we are enlightening people. An actual book. Turn that mini book into a book. And with AI, it's easier than ever to write a book, guys. Every coach should have a mini book, little 80-page book with your framework, your philosophy of coaching inside of it. Explanatory videos on YouTube, pitch decks, proposals. Now we're moving more into the front door collateral. Notice we went from the front steps to the front porch, and now we're walking through the front door. After your customer buys something from you, you should send them surprise and delight collateral. Something they weren't expecting. Wait, you already gave me money, and now you're giving me something more? And whatever that is, should reinforce the talking points. All right? Brand evangelist collateral. These are talking points you give to existing clients that they use to communicate about you to their friends so that their friends want to hire you. It's a strategy. And you need to create that strategy and execute that strategy. Keynote presentations like the ones I'm delivering now that reinforce your talking points. All right. The idea is really simple. People buy things after they hear words that make them want to buy things. What are those words? Survival sound bites. Those words are survival sound bites, and you need them, and you need 5 of them. Some of those can become your tagline, your controlling idea, the header on your website. Once you have your survival sound bites, if I were working with you, what I would do is I would sit down and look at your website, your lead generators, your business card, your emails. I would look at it all. I would watch you on YouTube. I'd listen to the introduction to the podcast that you deliver, and I would say, okay, we have got to replace most of the words that you're using in all of this collateral with our new sound bites. And what happens is engagement goes up. YNAB left my home, and they used a get good with money soundbite. Don't worry, you shouldn't have to worry about money soundbite. And their social media had a 400% increase in engagement. For the first time, they were going viral with their new messaging. I would expect if they're a $50 million company, they would go to 75 million based on these new sound bites. That's an incredible result. Now, it hadn't happened yet, but I do believe it will happen. Okay, if you're a coach and you are saying, Don, I've got to differentiate myself in the market. I want to build a wait list on people who want to work with me. I want to communicate the value that I offer much, much better. I've got a way for you to do it. You come to our workshop in Nashville, Tennessee on January 28th and 29th. We have not done a live in-person workshop since COVID. This is the first one we've done. It is limited to 100 people. We have not emailed our list about this, but we put the website up and we did a webinar a couple of days ago. 72 of the 100 seats are already filled. So go to storybrandyourbusiness.com. We have not emailed our list yet, but we are about to email our list to go ahead and fill it up. Or we're going to take a little small version of our list and email it because we don't want a bunch of people who can't get in. This is 2 days with me. I'm in the room the entire time. It's only 100 business leaders. And then we have a bunch of coaches in the room. So everybody will be in a coaching group of 8 people. So 8 other business leaders. You will leave with your 5 sound bites. You will leave with ideas for your 3 lead generators. And you will lead with 3 ideas to close the sale. And we will be taking a look at your marketing collateral and replacing the awful, boring, nuanced words that you're using now. And we're going to replace them with words that will work. It's like $1,500 or something to go. My gosh, you're going to make a lot of money on that. So make sure to go to storybrandyourbusiness.com and register right away. If I have a controlling idea behind this talk, it's this. If you keep confusing people, you're going to lose. If you keep confusing people, you're going to lose. I don't want you to lose. I want you to win. So you need a soundbite strategy, and I want to help you create a soundbite strategy. Okay, we've still got about 15 minutes left, and I would love to answer some questions from the audience and maybe even help you workshop some sound bites. If that sounds good to you, I'm grateful that we get to spend some time together. Josh, do you want to moderate this and help me talk to folks?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get to, there's Jenna and Heather and I. First of all, Don, thank you so much. I absolutely love, I heard the piece framework that you just shared a couple weeks ago or a few weeks ago when you introduced that to the StoryBrand certified coaches, and I absolutely love it. I think it simplifies. I love the StoryBrand framework. I think it simplifies getting that message out there, especially in the age of social media. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
My pleasure.
I know Jenna and Heather both were excited. They're the coaches that are co-sponsoring this with me. They're excited. I didn't know if they had a question. I know we had some in the audience. I saw some of that, but I'd like to give Jenna and Heather, Don, you and I'm on everything you do, right? So I know what you're going to say already. So I'll leave it open for Jenna and Heather, and then we'll see if there's any people in the audience.
Sounds good.
This is amazing. And you guys, like, what a huge gift to have Don here. Like, this is amazing. And I'm just sitting here. Obviously, I've shared with you guys that we've got a $1 million business completely organically. And I have been sitting here going, I'm literally messaging my team behind the scenes like, oh my gosh, we've done this wrong. We need to change this. This is so exciting. I need to change my soundbite. So if no one else wants to go later, you best believe I'm going to raise my hand in workshop. But we would love for you guys to get an opportunity to do this with them because this is pretty big deal. So again, thanks, Don, for coming. You've already completely changed my mindset. I'm like telling my team to sign up for your event already. Heather, if you've got something I know you want to say as well, but want to throw it to the audience first. And then again, if you guys don't step up, I'm coming.
Yeah, exactly. I will second that. So this was so good, such really valuable information for all of these coaches. So we thank you so much for coming. And we will definitely be in Nashville next year. So Jenna and I are already like, okay, let's
I can't wait to see you guys.
So yeah,
it's also going to be really fun. We're like 2 blocks from Lower Broadway. So as soon as you walk out, there's country music. Make sure to bring your boots. There's lots of line dancing. It'll be a blast.
You know what? I'm a big fan of the Grand Ole Opry. So, and Jenna and I have actually been to Nashville together before. So this will be,
there you go. We are
doing it again.
The facility, if you're a fan of the Grand Ole Opry, the facility that we're teaching the workshop in is across the street from the Ryman Auditorium, which is where the Grand Ole Opry started. It's where Johnny Cash kicked the lights off the front of the stage. So you're gonna love it.
So,
Love, love, love. That's
so
great.
Don, we do have a question. Paul wants to know, how do you create a unique soundbite in a market with so many others laying the standard?
I love that
Things?
question. And really the
Let's
question is,
bring
how do I
Paul up. Do you mind if we bring Paul up, Don,
Yeah,
so that he
please.
can ask you?
What was the
We've
last
working
name,
on
Josh? You got
Paul.
it? Okay.
There.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, Paul.
How's it going there, Big Don?
Good to talk to you.
Pleasure.
We told everyone that they have to call you the Dawn, so don't be surprised if people are like, "Hello, the Dawn."
Tell my wife that. She
Yeah,
doesn't see.
I got it.
Signor Corleone. So everybody's doing a version of whichever transformation within this broad understanding of things. And the truth is that I know my stuff has a very unique angle, and yet there is still a sense that the uniqueness angle can always end up falling in that middling understanding that everybody can see through.
Yeah. Well, people ask me all the time, how do I differentiate in a market where we're all doing the same thing? And if to differentiate in a market, they're always looking for what makes their business different. Like the obvious thing to do. If I want to differentiate, what makes me different? I would say back up for a second. Clarity can actually differentiate you in the market. Even though you do the exact same thing, don't think you have to be different or explain how you're different. The reality is everybody else is being confusing. And if you are clear, you are the only person in the market. That's it. So if I've got 100 people offering the same product, 99 people are talking about it in a way that's confusing, and you're talking about it in a way that's clear, you are the only person in the market in terms of the perception of the market. So the very first challenge is actually not to differentiate. It's to communicate clearly, right? So if I'm in a market, Nashville, Tennessee, and there are 100 pressure washing and window cleaning companies, and they're all saying pressure washing and window cleaning, and I'm saying dirty windows, ? Call me. I am infinitely more clear than anybody in any of my competition, because I realize that if you say window cleaning and pressure washing, the problem should be obvious that I solve. But it isn't. It literally isn't. It goes in one ear and out the other. If I'm driving by and I see a van that says window cleaning and pressure washing, of course I know what they do, and of course I know what problem they solve, but it never really occurs to me to call them. But if I see dirty windows, ? Call me, you are being much more specific. And I know, well, I do have dirty windows. Oh, I need to call them. You know what? We've got the holiday party coming up and our windows are dirty. I got to call them. They will do, Paul, I'm not kidding. They will do 100% more business than somebody who says window cleaning and pressure washing. And the reason is it's just clear. It's really, really clear. So if I had a business card that said dog trainer, or a business card that says, does your dog bark when somebody knocks on the door? Does your dog bark when somebody knocks on the door will do way more business than dog trainer. Why? Because I don't have to use a lot of calories, mental calories, to figure out why I should call you. And if you are making people think, you are losing money. You are losing clients. Now, the problem with a coach that offers something that's more spiritual in nature or more energy focused is, my God, it's hard to understand what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. But if you say, do you get tired at 2 p.m? I can help you figure out a diet that you'll never be tired again. in the afternoon. That I get, right? That I understand. Or do people kind of not like you? I can help them really like you. And by the way, it's the energy you're putting off. You see what I'm saying? I'm translating what I offer into language that is extremely easy to understand so that I know how I benefit from it. My dog will not bark when somebody knocks on the door. My windows will be clean. I will not be tired at 2:00. People will go from not liking me to liking me. That's what we're actually looking for. So I can be a relationship coach, or I can have a card that says trouble getting a date, call me, right? Or do women not like you? Call me. I'll help you find one and get married. I'm not causing them to do a bunch of math to figure out why they should give me money.
Right. So here's, there's what I teach is video presentation, unscripted, straightforward, from the depths of your soul. None of the copy paste scripted templated horseshit that everybody gets so fucking just numb to, right? And I come from a world of knowing how to do that. And yet, there are these notions of charisma, these notions of authenticity, these notions of yada yada. I mean, you get where I'm coming from there, right?
Yep. Can I help you, Paul?
No, I wouldn't want you to help me.
You know what problem I want you to own?
What?
Here's the problem I want you to own. You're bad on camera. You're bad on camera. Like, that's 3 words. It's a video age, and yet a lot of people are bad on camera. If you're bad on camera, call me. If you know somebody who's bad on camera, call me. If your boss is bad on camera, call me. And by the way, everybody's on camera every day now. Yeah. And if you're not on camera, you're getting left behind. But if you're bad on camera, I'm going to make you good on camera. That's it. You don't have to get into the non-scripted. That's the porch. That's the front porch. But those front steps are, if you are bad on camera, I feel for you. I help you get good. I'm a coach who helps you get good on camera so that people actually want to watch you and you have a bigger impact in the world. I literally just wrote your 5 front porch sound bites. And I guarantee you, if you use those sound bites, you will have way more coaching clients. Now, I can't remember what they are, but maybe you could rewind this tape and watch them.
You got to get the replay on the upgrade. Or, Paul, we need to upgrade to VIP.
Hey, Paul, as a guy who's on camera a lot, thanks for doing what you do. It's important.
Thank you, Paul.
Amazing.
Thank you.
We have time for one other.
Yeah, let's get Vivian up here. I know she's got a great question. And again, guys, just the beauty of what Don just did. Like 3 words, from everything down to 3 words. This is why we brought him in for you guys, so that everything we've taught you to scale to 250K and beyond is just simplified. Everything we've told you is about being simple. And that's why we love Don. Vivian, you got
I love that. I love that Paul could be the bad on camera guy. Of course, he's not bad on camera, but you know what I mean. If you're bad on camera, call Paul. If you're bad on camera, call Paul. If you're bad on camera, call Paul. That's it. That will build a $1 million business with on-demand courses, with coaches that he's trained, because he owns the problem. All right, Vivian.
Hey, Don, thank you so much. And thank you, Josh.
My pleasure.
I want to say first, Don, that I love you.
Oh, thanks.
I just saw you in Tony Robbins Business Mastery. And,
I love it. That's such a fun crowd. I love that group.
And I loved your talk, and I've been exposed to a lot of your stuff through Josh and your story brand stuff, and I just love it. So I'm just really nervous talking to you right now, but I'm really happy for the opportunity. Hopefully I can get my brain to work. So I'm actually, as you were talking, I have that problem of like, what hole do I own?
Yes.
And so, I say I'm a deep life satisfaction happiness strategist, and there's so many things but primarily what I solve is like helping people with their energy, with their meaning, like their level of energy, like their vitality, their physical vitality, people who are not feeling joy every day, but then so it's like helping people to enjoy their day every day more, like feel fulfilled. It's basically fulfillment, right? How to have a life of meaning and purpose. But it sounds, when I say it, like I know specifically what it is, but when I say it, it sounds so generic. And it's like everybody wants to be happy. And are you helping people with depression? It's like not exactly. And like so what I do is I help people through time mastery, like helping them master their time and figure out, and also clarity. So that's actually the first thing I do is help people get really clear on like what they want out of life, and then help them with the practical tools to organize their life and their time in a way that brings them fulfillment, and that they're, and just the way that they're, that's why I say life strategists, like the way they're approaching things, like very much like Tony Robbins, like results oriented, and thinking about what you really want.
Yeah.
So and when you say like own the whole, I'm just like, okay, so I think like, oh, the whole of unfulfillment or being unhappy, but it's so generic and it's so broad that I feel like it loses meaning, you know. And often I go to a lot of these things and I hear other coaches and they're talking and they literally say the same thing. And and like, you know, oh, I help people to be happier or more organized or whatever. And it's like I do, but like it just sounds so the same. And it's not about like, I know like to be differentiate yourself, right? But I want to be obviously really clear like you're saying, but it just
All right.
sounds so basic.
He's got you.
There's a lot there that you can own, and there's a lot of directions, and to some degree you kind of want to workshop it. But I think there's a universal kind of feeling that people have, Vivian, and they go in and out of these seasons. They go in and out of these phases in life. I've been there. You've been there. Everybody on this Zoom call has been there. And I would say, like, if I wanted to try to sum it up in 3 words, I would say life is confusing. I would say, like, for a lot of people in this world, life is confusing. And I feel for them because it doesn't have to be. I am a life strategist. And I want you to own that. Life strategist. I've heard of life coach. You know, I was going to go with happiness coach, but that doesn't seem like it's very, I wouldn't pay a lot of money for a happiness coach because that almost sounds like, well, I could just drink more caffeine. But I like life is confusing as the problem that you own. And you are clearly empathetic. You clearly care about those people.
Thank you.
And the answer is, your answer soundbite is, I'm a life strategist, right? And the change is so that people aren't confused anymore about why they exist and what they should do. And and then the end result is so they enjoy their life more. So, and they're no longer confused, right? So if we open the door of the story loop of, if we're going to own the whole of life is confusing, we also have to own the result of life is no longer confusing. So that life is no longer confusing to them and they know why they're here. So let me give you the 5 sound bites. For a lot of people, life is confusing. That's the whole that you own. I feel for them because it doesn't have to be. That's your empathy. Your answer is, I'm a life strategist. Your change is, when you work with me, you're no longer confused about why you're here and what your life is about. And the end result is so that you enjoy your life more. That's it. Those are your 5 sound bites. And you are officially, from here on out, a life strategist that solves the problem of being confused in life.
Oh, thank you. I love it.
Great. Use it. Write down those sound bites and use them in all sorts of ways as you talk about yourself and you describe your services. By the way, it's what you're doing. It sounds really beautiful and really meaningful. So I'm glad that you have such a heart to help people.
Oh, thank you, Don. And thank you for your help.
My pleasure.
Thanks, Viv,
And
for
Vivian, you
being
did
on.
it. You did it. You showed up. You got great advice, and what a great moment right there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jenna.
Yeah.
We're right at the right up to the top of the hour, Don. Do you have time for one more, or do you have to run?
No, we could probably get one more in.
Okay, let's bring Helen up. I know Helen's got a great question as well. Again, we appreciate you being here, Don. Helen, let's hear your question.
Thank you so much from
Hi, Helen.
Hi, Dawn, and thank you so much, Josh, also for creating this wonderful event. I'm calling in from Sweden, from Stockholm Archipelago, and my program is everything about life on your terms. That is the ultimate outcome of my program. And I have been together with Josh in the Edge, and that's where we learned to know each other. So I have had a fishing guide company for 20 years here in Stockholm. We offer fishing, boating, and concepts at home. So we're bringing people to our glass house, to our home. We live on an island in Stockholm Archipelago. Today we are one of Stockholm's leading activity companies, also one of Sweden's leading nature tourism companies. We have represented Sweden on different fairs. And of course, when we are getting a little bit older, my why is that I want to create a wonderful life for my family. And also, I don't want to have my husband going out on the cold waters in November and December. So that is really why we created this coaching business, because we want to help people, primarily parents, to get more harmony in their lives. Me and Josh has been talking about this with harmony in rather than life, private, the balance that everyone talking about, life work balance. I talk about harmony. That is very dear to me, and we want to help primary parents to stop their 9 to 5 and create a business around their hobby, interest, or lifestyle. Because
Okay,
so many,
love it.
So, but what we see is that it's most of people that have gone into pension that is coming into my coaching business, who have had a dream for a long time to start a business like ours. So, yeah.
Well,
So
the
I
great
see
thing is,
many problems.
yeah, you've got lots of authority because you're doing something that you love to do,
Yes.
and a lot of people are not. So it's mostly retired folks.
Yes.
I really like the idea of turn your passion into a second career. And if you want to, turn your passion into your final career. Because that would appeal to people who are a little bit older.
Yes,
And
and
so,
also have money.
yeah, I think that's the answer. Turn your passion into your final career. The whole is you don't like what you're doing with your life, or you don't like your career right now, or you don't even like being retired, right? You can turn or here's another one. You have a passion, but you're not being paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
So you could own that whole. I've got a passion in life, but I'm not being paid for it. Right?
That's
I feel for you.
Started.
My husband and I turned our passion into a career. You can also turn your passion into a career so that you love what you do and you're getting paid for it. There's your 5 sound bites right there.
Yeah.
So you're going to own I have a passion, but I'm not being paid for it. And your answer is, we coach you to turn your passion into a career.
So what is the problem that I'm owning?
You're owning the problem of I have a passion, but I'm not being paid for it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you
and
so
by the way,
much.
That's your target market.
Yeah.
Your target market is you have a passion, you're not being paid for it. Now, not everybody's going to qualify, because sometimes their passion may be something that nobody else wants to do, right? So you're going to have to qualify that customer and say, man, I love that passion. I think we'd have trouble coaching you to make money on that.
Mm-hmm.
But for a lot of people, and maybe even most people, it's like, no, we could actually figure out how to do that as a business, especially if you're a pensioner, because you don't actually need that much money. It's not like you're trying to make a living on this. You're just trying to get paid for it. Well, I can definitely get you $10,000, $20,000 a year for that, and I'm going to coach you on how to do that. But I think if you're not being paid for what you're passionate about, we're going to help you turn it into a business. into a career. So from not being paid what you're passionate about to being paid for what you're passionate about. I think that's a great direction to head and start playing with that messaging.
Yes, I think so too. That's why we started Catch and Relax, because the bloody fishing equipment was so expensive.
Yeah, I would think so. Nobody wants to be out there in Sweden in November and December fishing. I'll tell you that right now.
No. So thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Yeah.
Thank
Wonderful
you,
to meet you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
wonderful to meet you, and thank you for doing this.
So
My
Dawn,
pleasure.
Dawn, thank you for hanging out a few more minutes. I know you wish you had the time to, you're a busy guy. I know you wish you had the time to get everybody's questions, but we really appreciate you being here. I just want to second everything Dawn said today. Again, this has transformed my career. This has transformed my business. Taking these sound bites. This is how I grew my business from what it was to what it is today. And in addition to everything we've talked about aligns on this workshop aligns with what Dawn is sharing. This isn't about being pushy in sales. This is about owning a problem, telling people you own the problem, telling them what the solution is, and the transformation that you're going to give them. And you don't have to sell that. People will raise their hand and say, me too, for that. Right, Dawn?
That's right. Yeah, you shouldn't have to. As soon as they hear that, they should say, okay, I need that. And they should either say, tell me more, or they should just sign up.
Absolutely. So thank you, Dawn. I want to give you the last couple of words here, and then we'll let you go. Again, really appreciate you being on.
Well, let me just give you an idea. It takes mental calories. Literally, the brain burns calories trying to solve problems. And if you spend a few thousand calories coming up with your 5 sound bites, all of those calories that you spent coming up with those sound bites do not have to be spent by your customer in order to hire you. In other words, you're making them think. Don't make them think. You think, come up with the sound bites so that they don't have to think, and that will lower the bar for people wanting to do business with you. It'll just make it a lot easier for people to figure out why they want to hire you. I can help you figure out what those words are at storybrandyourbusiness.com. And hopefully we'll see you January 28th, 29th here in Nashville, Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dawn. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Guys, can we get like the biggest takeaways from Dawn in the chat just so that you can show the appreciation and thank him? I know that a lot of you know that we gave him the Dawn as a name because he's like a big deal. So the fact that he has been here and given his time, we're just so incredibly grateful for. And again, we'd love to show him the love in return by just having you guys drop your biggest takeaway from what he has been able to share with us today. I know Josh is going to kind of give us a summary of all of the things that we've been talking about so far, to kind of, connect the dots between what Josh has taught, what Heather's taught, what I've taught, and what Donald just taught with you guys as well. So I'll throw that over to Josh while you guys are dropping your biggest aha, your biggest takeaway, because what we'd love to do is to get all of your amazing comments and send them to his team and show him just how appreciative we are of his time. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Absolutely. I'm going to drop that link one more time. If you guys want to join Dawn here in Nashville, you join me too. Probably Jenna and Heather. They probably already got their tickets. So I saw them working furiously as soon as I dropped that link the first time. So there's a couple of things, guys, that you need to understand is, we talked about getting let me actually pull this up real quick. I want to pull up our 7 steps while we're talking. If I can find, there we go. Okay. So step 1, clearly you guys saw, we're going to clarify the transformation, right? Don talked about that. I mean, that's that owning that problem. And then really, I mean, and again, when I shared with you, we've got to start with what is the problem that we solve? What is the clear transformation? We're going to own that. And Don talked about that. That's getting people on those front steps of on the front steps of your house. The content that converts, that's the enlightenment phase. That's the phase that's going to get people on your porch. This is what's going to get people to download your lead magnets. This is the people that are going to get you on your complimentary coaching calls. Fit the leads in your current audience and track every lead. These two together are just incredible. This is the messaging, right? And how much easier. Take what Jenna taught you yesterday and combine it with this peace framework, okay? Think about if you take that message, and I saw again, Jenna admitted it, and I saw her behind the scenes working furiously. She's already like, wait, that message I gave them, I'm going to rewrite it. And I know she's going to give you a new one, but take that template and put that piece, like what is the problem you solve? What is the empathy that you can say, hey, I've been there, or I've helped a lot of people. By the way, I saw a question yesterday and I want to address this. Somebody said, well, I'm a coach that helps people, but I've never experienced what they've gone through. I just know how to solve that problem. You know what? That's okay. Your empathy is I've helped hundreds of people like you. That's empathy right there. I know what you're going through because every person I work with has been through that. So you're going to write that empathy in there. You're going to write the answer. The answer to it is if you're struggling with this and I know what you feel like, you need to hop on and do this or this. You need to get into this program. Guys, if you're struggling to make 6 figures in your coaching business or to get past the 250 hurdle, then you need to get into the Coach Builder Accelerator membership because I've been there. I know what it takes. I've taken all the courses. I've spent thousands of dollars, and I want you guys to stop doing that. And I want to get you past that. That's the change. Get you past that. What does life look like after that? I want you to have the impact that you are destined to have. I want you to live into the calling that you feel has been put upon you. I want you to serve the people that you feel you're serving. And I want you to do it where you can live a great life with your family. You can enjoy abundance. You can enjoy all of the things that you've ever wanted and give your family the better life that you want to give them. So the idea here is you can take that and put that into that, find your leads and then track every lead. Convert without being salesy. You guys can see here, if you follow this process, this is what we're about. Jenna, Heather, and I, we are about converting without being salesy. I'm not going to push it. Look, somebody once told me, I don't herd cats and I don't push rope. Have you ever tried to push a piece of rope? It just bunches, right? It doesn't move. And I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with a bunch of kittens, but trying to herd kittens or cats, oh my goodness, it doesn't even work. So we don't want to push people into a program. We want people to raise their hand and say, oh my gosh, me too, not go, so what? Because here's the thing, if you have to convince somebody to join your program, every time you get on a call with them, you're going to spend at least 10 or 15 minutes reselling them into the program. Right, guys? Am I wrong? Jenna, Heather? Nope. Look at Jenna's just like rolling her eyes. She's like, oh my gosh, I wasted so much time doing that. If you have to convince them, you're going to have to convince them every time you get on a call. Every time. They're going to be wondering, what's the value I'm getting? But if they're like, I see this, I need this. Remember my story about the I think I told it on here, maybe it was on the VIP, but the story about the Costco selling the microwavable chow mein bowls, right? I literally told this lady after giving me a sample, oh my gosh, I need these in my life. I remember because I made her laugh. And that's what you want. So converting without being salesy, that's what this peace framework does. And then, scale the scaling with the right people, hiring the right people, getting the team in place. Again, it's so much easier because here's the thing, guys, when you build a team, and here's what I love about Heather's BAMs. My BAMs are just as committed to my success and the outcome, the transformation I'm providing as I am. When you get a team, when you can clearly communicate to your team what your transformation is, what the problem is, and what you're going to do about it, you get people, again, saying, yes, me too. I have a team outside of my BAMs that I hired, and again, they're people, or that I've contracted with, and they're people that see the vision of what I'm doing. They go, oh my gosh, yes, me too. Lindsay is running Jenna's life, not because Jenna's a great person to hang out with, but there's a larger thing there. She sees Jenna's mission. She says, oh my gosh, me too. So when you create these piece out, this isn't just outward facing, this is inward facing to your company. This creates your mission. Remember, chase the mission, the money will chase you. This creates your mission and it keeps it clear. This creates a North Star for you guys. So one of the things that I want you guys to do, to think about, How do we do that? What is the best way? Well, obviously, getting into the membership is going to be the best way. But barring that, Dawn has created a tool. It's called StoryBrand AI. And I'm going to drop the link in here for, whoops, let me get the link for you guys for StoryBrand AI. I still had the link for the workshop that Dawn's doing on there. So StoryBrand AI walks you through creating a brand script. Do you remember that slide that Dawn showed with all that collateral? StoryBrand AI will build that out for you, and it will do it in a StoryBrand fashion. It will help you to simplify your message. It will help you to create these sound bites. It will help you to create website wireframes. It'll help you to create all of the things that help you to be clear. I love what Paul asked and what they talked about, because with Dawn, what he is talking about is he wants you to be clear. A brand script are those seven, that the brand script walks you through that thing that he talked about, a character with a problem. It's going to help you identify the external, internal, and the philosophical problem. And by the way, scroll up again, Jenna, real quick. Look at all those companies that use StoryBrand right there. You know, Tom's, Tempur Sealy, Trek, these are all companies that have worked with Dawn and use his StoryBrand framework. So this is something you guys can do. By the way, if you're a member of the membership, this is something I encourage you to have. It's not required. If you're in the membership, you're obviously going to get coaching from me, just like you're going to get coaching or workshops from Jenna and Heather and opportunities to see them. But for $40 a month, this is a great tool to get you started on that path of getting story branded. If you're in the membership, the benefit is you're not only going to be able to work on this and story brand your company, but you're going to have me coaching you through that. So I've talked a lot more about the membership. I actually was going to save it till after all of this, and then Jenna dropped it yesterday, and I'm like, great, let's go ahead, let's roll with it. But guys, Dawn is the reason why we brought Dawn on with us. I asked Dawn as a personal favor to me if he would join Jenna and I, because we knew that his message would resonate with you guys. If our message resonates with you, if you don't want to be salesy, if you don't want to be pushy in the DMs, if you don't want to be on sales calls, but you want to coach people. Here's the thing. If you're coaching people to sell, if the service earns the sale, then you have to have these 5 points so that people can clearly see what the transformation is going to be, what you're going to do. This helps you productize your coaching as well, so you're not reinventing the wheel with every single client. There's two things that are going to help coaches stand out right now. There is a flood of coaches coming out. There are several people doing coaching programs to be a coach. You've seen the ads, right? Be a millionaire by the end of the year in 3 months by coaching. I gave you the statistics, $8 billion a year, but 95% of those coaches don't. In fact, the real statistic is that most coaches cap out at about 68,000 a year. 68,000.
Which is like wild.
Yeah, my wife as a school teacher made 60,000 a year. Okay? I mean, and I was in a really good school district. So it's not a lot. If you guys want to break through that, again, what is the problem we solve, the three of us? 95% of coaches don't break six figures, and those that do stall out before 250, right? We've been there. We've made the mistakes. We've done all the programs, and we figured out what works and what doesn't. So what is our answer? If you guys want to break six figures, if you guys want to get past 250 and you guys want to be able to hire VAs and build a team and keep moving and impacting people and have the life that you dream of, then the Coach Builder Accelerator membership is the program for you. The change is that you're going to be a coach who loves what they do, wakes up every morning leaning into who they are, who is serving more and more people and growing a business, a legacy business that can impact people for generations. And the transformation is that you get to have that kind of an impact while working fewer hours, serving more people, which means more revenue, which means more growth, which means more legacy. And at the end of the day, having your family by your side instead of abandoning them, instead of losing them, and having the mission supporting you because you're chasing the mission. The money is now chasing you. I think that's a beautiful life. That's the outcome I want, and that's the outcome I have, and that's the outcome I want to give. If that's not for you, if you're saying, so what? Then that's fine, right? I'm clearly not your guy. If you guys like wearing your busyness as a badge of honor on your sleeve, my peace statement doesn't hold water for you. If you guys like to make hardcore sales calls, and by the way, some people love that.
I'm like, I feel attacked, Josh. Just kidding.
But the thing is, that's not a bad thing.
No. And the beautiful thing is I get to choose making offers because that's what lights me up, right?
Right.
And that's, I think, the idea, right? It's not a one size fits all. I have the ability to get to choose in my business what I want to do. Now, do I typically choose things that the average human doesn't want to do? Like talk in front of 5,000 people and make sales all day? Yeah, probably, like, right? But the idea is I get to choose because I have those things dialed in my business. And so now I have the opportunity to go do what I love, which is make offers all day.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what brings you joy. That's like what I talked about this morning too, right? Is you have that time to do what brings you joy.
Yeah, I will tell you too, yesterday, I mean, we coached from 9 to 12 with you guys, right? I got on another coaching call for an hour immediately after, drove an hour home to get my kiddo home, and then did a sales call from 7:30 to about almost 9 o'clock. And by the time I was done, I was like, oh my gosh, I am exhausted. But I was like trying to fall asleep and I literally could not fall asleep. And I was like, man, I haven't felt this alive in a long time. Like, I really was like, man, I am doing the thing that brings me joy, which is coaching, serving, and selling. And I know that's weird for a lot of people, but I literally could not fall asleep last night. Like, I had to take Benadryl at some point because I was like, all right, we got to go to bed, girl. But I was just alive. Like, my body was so full of energy and excitement. And that's what we want for everybody, is just to get you to the place where you get to do what lights you up and excites you instead of doing the crap that we didn't realize when we signed up to be a coach that comes with the job description, right? We said yesterday, when I basically said, if you're a solopreneur, shocker, you're the sales team, right? And a lot of people don't realize, like, if you are doing it all, you are every single role. And a lot of those roles are things that you don't want to do, right? But as you grow your business and the revenue comes in, then you get to make those moves. And like I said earlier, you'll never feel ready for certain things, right? It's like saying, oh, once I get in shape, I'll hire a trainer at the gym. We all know that's so silly, you know what I mean? But we tell ourselves that all the time, right? So I know we're going to move into the panel now. So you've got, some time here.
One thing, Jenna, real quick, I just wanted to emphasize something. Again, Jenna loves selling from stage. She loves to do the webinar. And in fact, every week from here on out, I'm going to tell you, Wednesdays, live training in the membership, Thursdays, live training in the free Facebook group, and Fridays, an hour, 90-minute masterclass on marketing, on the things that we talk about to help coaches to grow their brand, to grow their business. But here's the thing, and here's what I want to point out about Jenna. She loves selling, but she's not the hard sale person. She's not the, hey, maybe your grandma has money in her attic that you could get to, right? She's just, again, doing what Dawn does. Here's what I offer. Here's the transformation. Here's the problem. I know where you're at. Here's the transformation and the product that gives it to you. And then says, do you want it? Me too. Yes. No. Okay. I've got another webinar to get on. And that's the beauty of it. And that's exactly what we want for you guys, because I think that is one of the number one challenges with Coach. Jenna and Heather are great coaches. The first time I met with Heather, it took me like almost a year to finally pull the trigger with you, didn't it? And that was the beauty, was Heather, she supported me. She helped me to see what I needed. And she stayed in touch over that year. She didn't just step away like, okay, fine. She sent me emails. She checked in from time to time. She let me know, hey, I do have a special offer going on. But the beauty of it was that there was no pressure. She did not have to become a used car salesman. Jenna is not a used car salesman. I'm not a used car. And that is, I think, one of the number one challenges coaches face. I have coached literally thousands of coaches through Dean's program, Tony's program, Brendan's program, and even Don's program. And the director of coaching over there at StoryBrand, he and I are really good friends now too. And he loves my 6 steps because that's what he says. He says, I see this with coaches that they are fantastic. They've got a great result. They've got a great way of doing it. But then they get on a sales call and there's that pressure. You get on a sales call, walls go up. So I'm going to talk more about that in a minute, but I want to do a panel. We all 3 of us do. What would we do if we were starting over? And I've talked enough for a minute, so we haven't heard from Heather in a little bit. She's been sitting there smiling and waiting. So let's start with her, and then Jenna.
Yeah. Yeah. So what would I do if I was starting over from scratch? And just so everyone here knows this, like I said before, this is not my first business. So my first business, and technically I still am there, but I'm a leader with an MLM company and I still get a beautiful paycheck every month. I do absolutely nothing with it. I place my order every month, but I do nothing with it. But it was all about systems. And for me, that's one thing that has not changed from about 2008 when I joined that company, 2008, 2000, I can't remember now. A long, long time ago, right? That's one thing that has not changed in 2025 is you still need to have systems in place in order to scale. And I'll say it louder for those in the back. You need to have systems in place in order to scale. What are systems? People say, well, in 2008, my systems were very different than what they are in 2025. In 2008, I was using pieces of paper and file folders and file cabinets and trainings and making sure the people under me knew what they were doing, right? I was always training teams, always doing that along the way. What has changed now? Well, we have a lot of online systems that we can use, such as ClickUp, even ChatGPT to use us to help us with our systems, Google Workspace, Go High Level, sort of that platform that has everything in there with, your website, your CRM, keeping track of people. Those systems, to me, having those in place right now is key. And if I was starting a brand new business, that would be the number one thing that I would have together is I would have all those systems working for me in my business. And I would also remember along the way the quote of, am I running my business or is my business running me? And when I got to the point that I felt at all that my business was running me, that's when you need to hire help. And I hope what I talked about earlier also gives you those signs of when to hire help, but making sure that you're not always doing it by yourself along the way. I think those are really, really important things that you need to follow if I was starting over.
Awesome. Thank you, Heather. Thank you.
Heather,
Jenna.
if you had to pick, sorry, just quickly with Heather, if you had to pick one system, you only get to pick one. If you're a brand new coach, or maybe not brand new, you're looking, your first 100K year, first 25,
oh man,
250 year, what's the one system you're picking?
Ooh, that is so hard because they're things that I can't live without any of them. I mean, if you were to say, Heather, run your business without Google Workspace, I would say that's impossible. But if you were to say, Heather, run your business without GroupTrack or Go High Level or ClickUp, I would also say that's impossible. So I think
we go with Vesica's answer in the chat.
Oh man, that's just so
GroupTrack.
GroupTrack. Yes. I mean, it's true because then you're at a point in your business where you're trying to draw in leads. So if you're brand new, you're just getting leads or realizing that you have leads there. What are you going to do with those leads? How are you going to keep track of them? So yeah,
And funny enough, I was
it's
not
a good
actually
answer.
fishing for my
Yeah.
answer. I was really, really curious, what is like brand new. Josh, same question to you. If you had to pick one
So hard.
system, what is it?
So yeah, not trying to stroke an ego here or anything, but I'm gonna say group track. I mean, I was like sign up number 4,
Yeah.
like the day you launched or something. And I didn't even utilize the whole thing. I'll tell you guys, the only thing I used on group track was that when people joined my Facebook group, I had a question there saying, please put it, something to get their email address. And that was it, so that I could just extract their email address without having to go in and manually copy it. And then I was able to just download it. And just that feature alone, okay, guys, just that alone was invaluable in saving me time, saving me heartache, saving me and I could just immediately put somebody on my email list. By the way, Don's company is a $100 million company and he built it on getting emails. And so Group Track would hands down be the one thing, if I had to go back, I would never give that up. Especially at the $27 rate that it was back then.
Yeah, let's get that soundbite definitely sent over to me. I like it. I like it.
Yeah. I also think that Group Track and Go High Level, or even Group Track and ClickFunnels, whichever system CRM that you're doing for the most part, right? They integrate together. And so again, that's like that system of having those two things together. So you're pulling in your leads from Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or wherever, right? And then you're sending it all to Go High Level. So then you have them on your email list automatically. You guys, you can literally have someone join your Facebook group, approve them, click one button to approve them. They go into Group Track, they're sent to Go High Level, and you can have a campaign set in Go High Level that automatically sends them an email. Boom, done.
So just in case anybody's wondering what we mean, right? When you go into a Facebook group, you see that this is Group Track running on top of it. If someone drops their email, when I approve them into this, they go into my CRM and they immediately go into whatever email system the person is using. But funny enough, if you were going to ask me what system I couldn't live without, this is going to make you laugh. Facebook. It's free. I would use Facebook. Facebook, Facebook, Facebook. It's a free tool. You have a free Facebook group. You have a free profile, which is a billboard for your business. You have your inbox, which is Messenger, so you can talk to humans. When I started my business, I didn't have Group Track. There was no Group Track. I had a completely different business, right? I basically was using a spreadsheet. And I was like, well, I don't have a lot of money. I had just hired my first coach. And just to pull it back, God told me to leave my full corporate career of 10 plus years. And so I did, and I didn't even know what I was doing. But I was like, I'm obeying, I'm starting my business. And so I didn't have any money. I hired a coach for $30,000 because I was like, well, I'm going to do it right. And so I didn't have money to be spending on what I thought would be very expensive. Now to find out, I'm like, okay, you can't live without a CRM. That's the money maker. But I didn't know that back then, right? And so I was like, well, Facebook is it. And I'm just going to start my answer, because I'm next, on what would I do if I had to start over, because it plays right into this free tool. It's exactly what I told you guys earlier. Go on your social media, Instagram, Facebook, personal profile, Facebook group, LinkedIn, whatever it is. Make a list of those humans, either on the spreadsheet I gave you earlier, or get a free trial of Group Track. We put the link in the chat. Lindsay will drop it again. And just simply go through that list. Send them a message. Hey, not sure if you're aware, I coach on XYZ. This month, we're doing some complimentary coaching calls where I'm going to map out your best next steps to X result. Do you know someone who would benefit? Let me tell you, that is exactly what I did. Every person who got on a call, and fun fact, guys, Lindsay, who now works for me, she was one of those people that did this with me. She got on a free call with me, okay? And she got on the call, and the way we do our sales call is service-based, very easy. Those converted into private coaching like you would not believe. And that would be one tip I would leave you with very strongly, pretend my shoulder or your shoulders are in my hands right now, and I'm shaking your shoulders, okay? Oh, that was woo, we gotta go to the gym. Okay, so we'll pretend that didn't happen, but I was shaking your shoulders. Okay, you saw that part. Okay. So if I had to tell you this, I would say start with private coaching first. Get private coaching, get full, and say, okay, how much money do I need to make a month? How many clients do I think I can handle, AKA the price point, right? Go make offers. And again, the way you do it, you work that list, you get on a complimentary call, you serve them, serve them, serve them, and then you convert. By the way, if you're like, I don't know how to do a complimentary call, that's one of the courses we have in our 24 for 24 bundle that I dropped in the chat. But what you do then is you convert those people into private clients, you serve them, you work out the things of your offer, right? You should never go build a course. You should never go build anything until you've proven that it works, right? So then you get full with private coaching. You get to a place where you're overwhelmed and you have money. You have money coming in. Then you get the systems and the things that you need. Then you launch into group. And I would recommend that you go the recurring revenue model. So I'm going to just do a little rant if that's okay. So many people tell you guys, go do a 4-month program, a 6-month program, a 12-month program. Please stop. Here's why. Let me just ask you this. How many of you believe with everything in your soul that you could get someone a full result and transformation within the confines of 4 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever? I hope you say no in the chat. And this is what I mean, right? Everybody moves at a different speed. Could you teach that in that time period? Sure. But could your person get the transformation and the results? Probably not. We all move at different speeds, right? So why are we saying, join my program for 6 months? Because here's what happens. I'm just going to give you the flash forward. The 6 months are going to come up. Your person in your coaching program is going to be like, well, shizzle, I didn't get the results. This person lied to me. And then when they're like, oh man, Helen, I didn't get the full results. And you're like, oh, well, you should join again. They're never going to buy from you again because now they're already feeling like they didn't get the result you promised. And now you're selling them something else. So here's what we do instead. Write this down. And again, guys, drop your nuggets over on my post because someone is winning my AI that's going to write your full offer for you. But here's what I want you guys to do. When you make an offer for recurring revenue for your coaching program, what we want to do is say, great, we work with you, for a minimum of 4 months, but you're going to continue in the program until you feel complete. So instead of me putting a time commitment on it, I'm giving it to you, right? So I'm going to say, yep, we're going to work together. We're going to do it for a minimum of 4 months, but you're going to continue in the program until you feel complete, okay? What that does is emotionally, the minute that person purchases, they believe they're in control because they are, right? And the truth is, even if you lower your price and do a recurring revenue offer, you will make more money because they will stay in your coaching program for longer. We had a coaching program we just sunsetted in order to focus on our other one. And, it was $497 a month. Minimum of 4 months. I had one girl, and she's not the only, but she's the longest, who stayed in for 4 years. 4 years she stayed in my coaching program. So I want you to think about this, right? If I had said, oh, join my program for 6 months, I would have made $497 times 6. I made $497 times 12 times 4 on that one person. So if that does not tell you recurring revenue is the way to go, I don't know what does, right? So for example, we have a Work My Leads program where I literally sit there and force you to work your social media leads. And when I sell it, I say, oh yeah, it's $227 a month, minimum of 3 months. You're going to just go until you feel like you got everything you need. And the most beautiful thing is I got an email from a guy one day, and he had done one of those big coaches programs. You all know who these people are. He did this, $36,000 program. And he was like, Jenna, I just have to tell you, I got more out of at the time it was the $497 program a month than I ever did for this program that was, I think it was like $30,000 for the year. And he was like, I have to tell you something. And this is like the first time I've ever left a program sad, but I'm also so happy because the reason I'm leaving is I feel complete. And I have never felt complete in a program. And so I want you to think about, how do you give that to your people, right? So again, it's a monthly subscription to your coaching, right? And the way you make sure you get the minimum amount that you need is just to say, and it's a minimum of this, okay? Same thing, Vesica, when I started my coaching, and again, I did what I am telling you. I got full with private coaching, and I still do private coaching because I love it. But once I was at max, then I rolled over into group coaching. And here's something else you can do. When you have a private coaching client, you could say, oh, and by the way, as a bonus, while you're coaching with me privately, you get access to our group coaching for free as well. So think about this. If you're ever like, oh my God, I'm scared nobody's going to be in my coaching group and I'll only have 2 people, invite the private clients in for free. Okay. Here's what happens. They're freaking out because they get, time with you. Your other clients are hearing it and they're like, wait, I want that too. I mean, money's everywhere. It's amazing, right? So even with private coaching, when you work with me, I'm like, great. It's X dollars a month. It's a minimum commitment of 6 months. We'll just go until you feel complete. Let me know. I have had, gosh, Heather, how long have you coached with me? Like years? 2 years?
More? 2
More?
years?
Privately coaching.
Oh, more. Like
probably, yeah.
Yeah, forever.
And one day she'll say to me, hopefully never, but like, Jenna, I am complete. And I'm going to be like, aw, but yay.
Right. No, we would never be complete. That just would not work. But we have a lot of questions in the chat about so this is a subscription model. So essentially what you're saying is one-on-one for working with me, it's, so much per month, and it's an ongoing fee monthly. It's a, 3-month commitment, 4-month commitment, whatever you want to do. However, you keep going until you've reached the results.
Yeah. Don't put a limit on, don't say, oh, we're going to work together for 6 months. Why? Why are we telling people they're going to cancel them from paying you? Let them choose. Do you know what I'm saying? Are we like, aha? Can we say aha in the chat if anybody's like, oh my God, I'm throwing money away because I'm telling people we're going to work together for this amount of time? I cannot stress this enough, the game changer in my business. So again, here's Jenna's plan to $250 a year, right? Go get your social media profile dialed in. Use it for free. You're going to message all the people on your list. You're going to track them in a spreadsheet or in group track. You're going to send them the message, hey, not sure if you're aware, I help people do this. I'm waiving the fee on a few complimentary coaching calls where we're going to map out your best next steps to XYZ. Do you know anyone who would benefit? They're going to say yes. You're going to get on the complimentary coaching call. You're going to go through the strategy. You're going to make them an offer. They're going to convert into a private client. You're going to knock their socks off because you're going to say, great, we work together. This is what we do. It's this many calls. We coach together. It's a minimum of 4 months. When you're ready, you let me know. When you're complete, and that's when it ends. And then when you're full, you're like, ooh, this is exciting, time to scale. Then you launch your group coaching program, but you tell all the people in your private calls, ooh, by the way, just launched this as a bonus. You get to come in for free. Okay, so then we have a large group of people. We're all excited. And then we start building into our group coaching program. Okay. And I will tell you my other giant nugget of the world. It is so much more expensive to get a new client than it is to keep one. The reason why I'm able to make $1 million a year with no ads, low ticket, small following is because when someone buys something from me, they buy everything from me. Is there anybody in here who has bought a course, a coaching, anything from me? Can you just drop that in the chat to prove my point of maybe how many things you've bought from me? Because we deliver, right? And so when people buy, they buy over and over and over and over again. Yeah, Dr. DeBoer, she's like 4 items, and 2 of those were coaching. One of them was a tool, right? So this is the thing, right? When you serve and you love on your people and they feel it, because you have to make them feel it and believe it, right? Then people will buy over and over and over again. And that's actually where your revenue is. It's not in new clients. And, some of you might be wondering, so our coaching and our courses are usually around $497 to $997 for a single course. And you saw I dropped in 24 courses for $24. And you might be thinking, what is that woman doing? Right? Well, guess what? I'm going to give you this little tip. The likelihood of somebody buying from you the first time is only 5 to 10%. So it is only the likelihood of you purchasing from me, this 24 to 24 is only 5 to 10% of you that are going to say yes. The likelihood once somebody buys from you once that they will buy from you again goes up to 85%. So instead of you guys focusing on like, oh my God, I got to go sell my $5,000 program, my $1 million program, I'm worth more than that. Guess what? Every single person who has bought my $24 course bought the bump and then bought the next bump. Do you know what I mean? So again, it's a frenzy. When they buy once, they buy over again. So recurring revenue is the game. That is my piece. If I were to start over.
Awesome, Jenna. Awesome. Thank you so much. She basically outlined not only what I would do, but also what I'm teaching in my membership. But no, she's absolutely right. And Jenna's right, both Heather and Jenna. And if I were to start over, I'll tell you one of the biggest things that I bought into, which was a mistake when I started, was make a course, create a course right off the bat.
Say it louder. Please say it louder.
Making a course is one of the hardest ways to break into the business unless you've already got millions to spend on ads. Also, you don't really know what your client needs until you've met with them. This is why I love starting. I would start with one-on-one, just like Jenna said. I would start one-on-one. So yes, I have an idea of my program, but as I meet with people and I start to see patterns, because coaches are great at identifying patterns, I can say, oh, I don't need that. Oh, I should add this in. Oh, they probably need this. And then you start to create, and then you do what's called productizing your coaching so that you're not doing it over and over again. I would productize my coaching by the way, the first thing I did was I released a course. It was 52 videos, each about a half hour on how to be more productive and only work 30 hours a week.
I bet no one even watched all of them.
26 hours of videos to learn how to be more productive. No, nobody did. The only people who bought them were people that I call them pity buys. Like they were like, oh, he's trying something, we'll buy it. And nobody watched it. But once I started doing one-on-one coaching on my productivity, I recognized, wow, half of my audience, they already know this because of this guru that I got it from. And these people know this. And so that's the idea. I would have gone back. If I'm starting over, the first thing I would ask myself is, what is the shortest route to my transformation? So the Wizard of Oz, again, yellow brick road, right? Shortest route to get to the Emerald City, to get to the wizard, to get back home. You know, that's what I would have said. My productivity now is 3 steps or 3 pillars, 3 steps per pillar. So 9 steps. By the way, Don Miller says that people have a hard time remembering 4. They pretty much can't remember 5. So if you can do things in 3s or, 6s, where you can say 3 here, 3 there. But the idea is that I got 9 steps, but it's down to 3 essentially. So I would have done that. I would have eliminated everything I thought they needed. And then as I coached one-on-one, if I saw that they needed it, I would add it back in. The next thing I would do, doing it one-on-one, I wouldn't have done lump sum payments. I never would have taken a lump sum in my life. Because what do we say as coaches? We say, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. And then when we offer our price, we pick up that whole friggin' elephant, we drop it right there, breaking grandma's fine china, breaking the antique table, and now all we're left with is a huge elephant in front of us or in front of our client. I would say instead of a $12,000 program, I'd say it's $1,000 a month. And we're going to work a minimum of 12 months, and then we'll go from there. Or if I want 6,000, I would say it's $1,000 a month, and we're going to work a minimum of 6 months. Or if you're going to need 12 months, again, coming back to my productivity, it was a 6-month program. Could I teach that? Yes. Could I get people working on it? Yes. What did they need for the next 6 months? They needed maintenance. They needed to get those habits baked in. So I realized I really needed a 12-month program. And then I realized with some people, I needed an ongoing program. So I said, okay, it's a 12-month minimum. I wanted 6,000 for it. It's $500 a month. So that gave me 6,000. Then I got my time filled up, and then I would do exactly what Jenna said. I would hire the right people to help me build out the funnels and all of the stuff that I need for my group program. And I would go with a group program at that point, do exactly what you said. All your one-on-ones, they get a bonus of dropping in there. Plus, the new people coming into the group program don't have to be there alone. And you don't have to do a major launch. Again, to get people on a webinar, a major launch, to get enough people into a group program to make it worth your time, that's a big feat. But if you're just doing the same thing, you're just meeting with clients, doing complimentary calls, and at the end of the call, instead of inviting them into a one-on-one, you just invite them into your group program because your one-on-one is filled up. And you can raise the price on your one-on-one for any new people. You can say, well, my group program's $500 a month, so my one-on-ones are going to go up to $1,000 a month, right? So the idea being is you would build that out, your group program, and then that's when I would do a group program with a course attached to it. So I would pre-record the course because by now I should know what are the basic building blocks my client needs. Then you can have an evergreen group coaching program rather than having to do it in cohorts. The basics of your program are pre-recorded. Watch these. Then show up for the live calls so you can ask questions, how to personally implement it, get coaching on how to implement it because you've productized your service, okay? Then from there, you can also sell that course at that point. You get on a call, somebody, I can't afford your one-on-one, I can't afford your group coaching. Great. Well, you can at least get the basic building blocks of the course for $297. Would you like to get, yeah, I'll buy it for $297 or $97 or $497 or $997, whatever. But now you have a course you can sell one off. You've got a group program built on it. You've got one-on-one that's built on it. Everything is moving in the same direction. You're owning a problem. Every lead magnet now comes out of that course. Every social media post comes out of that course, out of your fundamentals, right? What does the coaching say in sports? Fundamentals, right? Why was Phil Jackson so awesome? By the way, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. I'm not even going to talk to you about it if you say otherwise. But why was Phil Jackson so awesome with the Bulls? Why did he beat the Utah Jazz when I lived in Utah and I was the only Bulls fan in the entire state? Because of fundamentals. All right, guys? So you get these, everything comes out of that. Then from there, then you can do memberships. You can do, I mean, that's where I'm at this point. That's why I'm investing my time in this membership, because at this point, I've seen a problem that it can't be solved. I've seen people saying, Josh, I want your system. I want your coaching. It resonates with me. I can't afford it. And that breaks my heart. So guys, that's why I'm gonna segue into now talking about the Coach Builder Accelerator membership. This is what I'm pouring my heart and soul into for the foreseeable future. In fact, my one-on-one, I have raised my one-on-one prices. I have a couple of slots available, but well, I'll tell you a story. A few years ago, well, several years ago, when I was almost 100 years ago, when I was only 19, my parents decided to sell their house. And in the market, houses were going pretty fast, but they weren't quite ready to sell. So the realtor said, hey, what if we price it way higher than what the value is, than what you should be asking? And if somebody from California moves into Utah and wants to pay that, you make a bunch of money. But in the meantime, it's not really moving. And then once you're ready to move, you can drop it back to where it's reasonable. But in the meantime, if somebody buys it, you make a bunch of money. So guys, my one-on-one coaching is going to be $10,000 a month because I just don't want any more one-on-one clients. I don't. I want to devote my time to you. And if somebody comes along and says, hey, I can afford that, then great. You know what? Let's do it. I'll do it at that. Don had that same problem. Don was charging $25,000 to speak at events like this. And he got tired of doing that. He didn't want to travel anymore. He had just had his little girl, Emmeline. And he raised it to $50,000, and he actually wound up booking more events. And so I'm hoping that doesn't happen here. But this is what I want to talk to you guys about. Let me go ahead and share my screen really quick, because some of you have already jumped in. By the way, put in the chat, have you guys already jumped in to the Coach Builder Accelerator? Who's jumped in? I know there's several of you here. Sherry, yes. Helen, Jeff, yep. Dr. Deborah, absolute. Danielle, absolutely. So right now we're doing a founder's offer. We're giving you 50% off. let me share my screen here. This is a Coach Builder Accelerator. Now I had a bunch of slides and I had the whole this value, this is this value, this is this value. Guys, I'm just going to tell you what you're going to get. You're going to see the value in this. Like Dawn said, the problem I solve. And if you don't see the value, then you're not my ideal client, and that's okay. But you deserve a business that gives you freedom, not overwhelm. I am a small business flight plan certified coach through Don Miller. Again, you'll get coaching from that. I'm a StoryBrand certified coach. You're going to get coaching from that, and a Business Made Simple certified coach. I also have my own certifications that I gave myself. The Purpose-Driven Productivity, you're going to get that so you can work fewer hours while making more money. And of course, the Signature 6 Steps. The idea here is to scale your business, work fewer hours, and create lasting success. You became a coach to help people, not to be a salesperson. So you're going to achieve six-figure revenue. What are the 6 steps, guys? I'm just going to give it to you. Clarify your transformation, become the guide on social, program the algorithm. Number 4, get in the DMs, and we got a bonus course from Jenna to help you with that. Number 5, coach on a complimentary call. Don't sell. And number 6, the roller coaster sales process. Next, you're going to get StoryBrand coaching. Don, by the way, so you know, actually, let me show you the actual. Don did give us his StoryBrand coaching in here. He gave us a whole course on how to StoryBrand your business, but you're also going to get me to help coach you through that and answer your questions. You're going to get purpose-driven productivity. This gets my clients down to less than 30 hours a week. Now, when you're a CEO, a chief everything officer, you're going to start out at more, but this is the goal to work towards. You're going to work less, scale faster, and build a business that lasts. Okay. You're going to get weekly virtual live training and question and answer sessions. You're going to get the Signature 6 Steps. You're going to get access to purpose-driven productivity. You're going to get a new course every month. By the way, these aren't just about your coaching. These are about your personal life as well. Because again, it's about the twin win, succeeding in business while winning at home. This is going to help you guys to grow personally as well as professionally. Guest experts. Jenna said I should call them guest experts. I can't.
Guest experts.
Guest experts. That's right. Guest experts.
Yes.
And coach spotlights. By the way, this is a community, not just for me and my friends to come and preach at you. I want to highlight you guys. I want you guys to be leaders in there. I want to show you something I put in there. There is going to be in here a marketplace. Oops. There's a marketplace where you guys can put offers. Why? Because maybe Helen can help Vivian, and maybe Vivian can help Dr. Deborah, and maybe Dr. Deborah can help Paul or Jeff or me, right? I want you guys to put your offers there. I don't want you guys spamming people. Obviously, we're going to have some rules, but I want you guys to help each other. I want you to create lasting connections and friendships from this. We are the next generation. These guys that are at the top, in fact, I was meeting with Don not too long ago, and he told me this, and I actually told this to Jenna and Heather when we were putting this together. He told me, he says, listen, guys like me, Michael Hyatt, John Acuff, Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins, Russ, these are the old guys in the business. We need new people. Like Jenna pointed out, we need the people that are just above you guys rising up. And the only way we rise up is if you rise up. That's it. And then you guys need to create that next generation of coaches, world-class coaches. That's what I want coming out of this is world-class coaches. You can make announcements, general discussion, tools and resources. We're going to give you templates. Every week, I'm going to be dropping a new template for you guys. These are coaching contracts, agreements, social media templates, lead magnet, funnel templates, worksheets and journals, weekly new additions. As a bonus, you get Jenna's Followers to Clients course. You can get the free trial to Group Track in there, okay? You're also going to get 3 traps that prevent growth. This is about podcasting. If you're interested in creating a platform, guys, this course is about creating a platform, what Jenna said, using Facebook, using the platforms that are out there to get your brand out there, to become known as the go-to guy for whatever problem. You guys remember, if you were on yesterday, you saw where I shared that clip where Dean Graziosi was saying, hey, we got with Josh because he has this amazing time management system. and he's going to be a bonus to this program. Some of you bought that program, and then you attended my live productivity training. The reason why was because, again, I heard this story from no less than 5 people at mastermind.com, Dean's organization. They were sitting around. They said, one of our major problems is time management. People won't buy our programs because they say, I don't have the time to do that. And Dean was saying, he's like, how do we solve? We got to solve this. We got to get a productivity. And 5 people at that table said, you got to talk to Josh then. You got to talk to Josh. You got to get on the phone with Josh. And he got on the phone with me. And he said, hey, would you do this? I said, yep. He says, great. I'll have my team in touch with you. We made a deal. We signed a contract and allowed me to go and offer that. The reason why is because at that time in that space, what problem did I own? I owned productivity. I owned time management. I owned that. I still own that, right? That was the foundation of my business. That's why you're going to get it in this system. So that if you're sitting there saying, I don't have time for this, you're already going to get a productivity system that's going to make more time. You're going to get how to create a platform with your podcast. The comparison cure is a bonus one. This is something that you coaches, when I say you, I mean me included. All of us coaches deal with this, right? Oh man, I'll never be like Jenna. Or look at Heather, her videos are so, guys, if you're not following Jenna or friends with her, you need to, because in the last 24 hours, she has put out so many freaking videos that are hilarious. Like Heather was like,
wait, yeah. But do you know that they're AI?
Yeah, Josh, well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Okay, because people think it's really me.
Right. And that's the thing though, is these videos are hilarious. And you might be looking at them like, oh, I'll never be like that. I'll never be able to have that well of a produced video because they look very well produced, right? Like that she spent weeks building them out. You got to get rid of that. By the way, these 2 bonus courses, the next 2, the Comparison Cure and Level Up Faster, I used AI to create them because I want to show you guys how you can have AI bonus courses, AI to help you create solutions for people that you want to help. I want to help coaches. The comparison problem is one of the biggest problems. So I used AI to help create this so that you can stop comparing and start owning your story and coach better. Level Up Faster is not about you being a better coach. It's about you being a better student, being more coachable, right? Because that's what you're going to need. Because I always say this, never hire a coach that doesn't have a coach, right? Mm-hmm. Because if we don't have a coach, we probably don't really believe in what we're doing. We're just trying to make some money. I pay ridiculous amounts of money. I have 3 different coaches right now, and I pay ridiculous amounts of money to them. And it is something that you need to learn is how to be coachable, how to have somebody come back, how to have me in the membership come back and go, gosh, Helen, that's a really great idea, but I think maybe we could do it a little bit better, right? Like Jenna did yesterday when she's like, nope, change the ending of that. I'm going to do it with love, but you got to change it. You got to be coachable. So the idea here is it's normally going to be $97 a month. After October 10th, it's going to be $97 a month. You can see there's 7 days, 9 hours, 58 minutes left. Right now, you can get in for $47 a month and get everything that we're offering. I'm going to elevate you guys. As I see you have success, I'm going to have you speaking to the group. I'm going to bring in guest experts like Jenna and Heather to speak to the group. And this is what you're going to get. It's on the school platform, which is really easy. It's already preloaded with all of these courses. You're going to have the calendar. We're going to add more events, but every week right now, we're going to have that. By the way, all of my membership, all of my members get the VIP to everything from here on out. Everything, every event that I put on, they get the VIP. The link is right there. I just dropped the link, Vesica. So the other thing that I want you guys to do, by the way, let me share one more time. Also, just so you know, I've got my bulldog in here and she is snoring up a storm. So I hope you don't hear that in the background. I've got my mic, but become an affiliate. I know a lot of you know other coaches that have been struggling for years to break that 6-figure. There's no point in me keeping all the money. I want to share that. 40% of their monthly fees will go to you as an affiliate, so long as they're paying their monthly dues. The monthly fee, so long as they're a member, you will get that. You can just click right there, become an affiliate, get your affiliate link, make sure to check your spam folder, and share this with other coaches that need that. Again, guys, I hope you see that I'm wanting to create a network where we get rid of the competition, where we become supportive, where we own our unique spaces, and where we can understand, listen, I own productivity. Right now, I am going to own the space that says 95% of coaches never make six figures. I'm fixing that. I want to be that guy that I'm a coach. I need to make six figures and I don't want to get on hardcore pushy sales calls. That's Josh. But here's the thing, guys. There's going to be other coaches out there. In fact, in a year, maybe less, I'm going to create a certification program. So if this resonates with you, you can be certified and teach it. And at the end of the day, somebody might go, I really, really love the way Heather teaches it. Josh is okay, but I love the way Heather teaches it. That's why Don has a certification program. That's why he certifies story brand coaches, because you heard him today. He's amazing, but some of you may have been like, he's all right. Okay. Some of you right now are probably like, Jenna's amazing, Josh, blah. Heather's amazing, Jenna, blah. That's okay. Yeah, Jenna's never blah. She's just a sparkling star all the time.
Dare you? How dare you?
But that's the idea, guys, is there's enough people out there to share the space. We can all have a piece of that $8 billion, and it's only growing. Coaching is what this world needs right now. We don't need more therapists. We need coaches. We don't need never-ending pay me to complain about your problems. We need people providing transformation, change, and solutions, right? That's what this world needs. And you guys right now are right in the best possible position to be able to offer that. And that's why I am dedicating for the foreseeable future, working only with coaches to get past that six-figure mark. I'll be in there every week. I mean, I'm going to be in there multiple times with posts, with messages, with other things, but I'm going to be in there at least once a week with coaching, getting you guys on Zoom. I'm not talking about, let me just preach to an empty building. I mean, you guys will have the Zoom link. You're going to hop on Zoom with me and we're going to coach. We're going to do hot seats. We're going to get you guys fixed up and we're going to apply everything. So
Sounds
again,
so fun.
Sorry.
I can't control the excitement. And I know it's 12 o'clock and we're actually over time.
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just one last thing, guys. If you don't feel like this is right for you, I'm not pushing you into it. Okay. I want you guys to be just as much heck yeah for me as I am heck yeah for you. But I want you to understand that if you are tired of the high pressure sales calls, people trying to transform you into a salesperson. Remember what I said yesterday? A great coach helps you make money and live into who you truly are, not tries to transform you into something you're not. If you're tired of those high pressure sales, if you're tired of pushy DMs, if you're tired of having a great idea and never getting traction on social media, if you're tired of spending money on high ticket programs that promise huge returns and never seeing a dime back, guys, look, this is about, I call it accessible coaching. I don't like the phrase low ticket, but this is about as low ticket as you can get for high ticket coaching, high ticket programming. And I promise you guys, I will work hard for you if you will stick with me in this program, if you guys will join me and work along. But here's the last thing, guys. This program is not designed to mix with others. All right. The coaches I bring in because they fit into the program. You cannot take a little bit of Tony, a little bit of this, a little bit of Russell, a little bit. Those guys are great. And if those programs resonate with you, jump all in, go all in. But I never made money until I picked one program. Now, I did pick Dean Graziosi's program, but it wasn't until I picked that one and I watched the videos and then I did what he said. And then I watched the videos and then I did what he said that I finally made money. Now I found a better way for people like me and people like you that don't like high pressure sales. And I'm giving that to you, but you've got to stick with it. When you try to shortcut the process, you only short circuit it. All right. That's my final word. I'm inviting you guys in. I'd love to see you all in there.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so, so much for joining. I mean, when we decided to do this, we were kind of like, do people even come to 2-day events anymore? And are they actually going to sit with us for 3 hours for 2 days? And Josh was like, come on, just do it. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if anybody's going to come, but I will tell you the fact that so many of you shown up for 2 days straight and stayed the entire time or came in and came out, it really just feels really good because obviously when we pour into people, it just feels really nice when, you know, you show up on camera and you engage and you just love on us back. So thank you for being amazing guests in our workshop. That means so much. And again, I do want to do a big shout out to Lindsay. I know we talked about her a couple times. She is my everything and my handler. But she was over there in the DMs going, I think I need to add running a summit via Zoom to my resume because this is really stressful. So thank you to Lindsay for running all the logistics. If you guys could just shout out Lindsay below. Make sure you guys DM her. I did drop the link to her social profile. If you just say the word viral to Lindsay, she's going to sell, or she's not going to sell you, she's going to give you for free our AI bot that will generate your viral hand raisers for social media. We did all of the presenters. We dropped our social handles. We'll put those in the Facebook group as well. So just make sure in the Facebook group that you're connecting with us. There are a few people who've asked about the replays. The replays are going to be in our Facebook group, which we will drop once again in the chat. So make sure you're there. We'll drop the replays in there as well, and those will be up for a week. Otherwise, if you've got the VIP, we'll send you the replays directly to your inbox, and you can have those forever, as well as now that we're concluding, we're going back and we're taking all of the information we shared over the last 2 days and we're creating an AI GPT. So if anybody's not sure what on earth Jen is talking about when she keeps saying that, what that means is we can make these things where we take our entire brains and we build them in ChatGPT. And so this is the one that one of you guys are actually going to earn, you know, by commenting on my post we talked about. But like I said, we're taking all of the knowledge that we've dropped over the last 2 days, and we're going to put this in ChatGPT. You then go in here, access it, and say, you know, what's step one? You know, what do I do here? And it's going to be like, oh, based on Jenna, Heather, and Josh's recommendation, you should do this, right? So it's really kind of that assistant that is going to help you take what we've given you and actually apply it. Because I know that when you go to conferences and events and workshops, you get overwhelmed. You're excited in the moment, but then when you go to sit down by yourself, you're like, what do I do? So we are going to just drop the link in case anybody wants to grab the IP still. You'll get the replay plus the GPT that we'll be spending the next couple days building out for you guys. So
and the replays will also be in the membership as well.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. So we will be putting those in there as well.
Amazing. All right, guys. We hope you have the best day. Thank you for hanging out with us. Even afterwards, we'll see you all on social media, if not inside of Josh's awesome membership. All right. See you guys. Bye.
Thank you so much, everyone.